I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former FBI Director James Comey is indicted for a second time by the Justice Department. According to CBS's Jake Rosen, it's related to a social media post.
We don't know the specific charges. It's certainly possible there could be some charge related to an interstate threat against a public official like President Trump, although the language in that post of the 8647 is, while it's rather specific when you put it in the context, could be perceived as rather vague in a court of law.
The former FBI director was indicted last September on charges that he lied and obstructed Congress related to testimony he gave in 2020 about whether he had authorized inside information about an investigation to be provided to a journalist. He denied any wrongdoing. The case was subsequently dismissed. Britain's King Charles III will deliver a speech this hour to Congress. Earlier, President Trump and the First Lady held a lavish ceremony at the White House. President Trump saying during King Charles' state visit,
"In the centuries since we won our independence, Americans have had no closer friends than the British."
The United Arab Emirates wants out of OPEC. The Gulf nation says it will leave the oil cartel on Friday. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Right now, because OPEC is losing this founding member, basically, it could decrease the price of oil. Importantly, in a statement that we've actually just gotten, I'm just going to read this to you here, the UAE will continue to gradually and thoughtfully increase production.
A federal judge is expected to sentence Purdue Pharma today for deceiving government regulators as well as paying kickbacks to doctors to boost sales of opioids. The negotiated sentence is the last necessary step to clear the way for a $7.4 billion settlement for victims of the opioid crisis. Opponents of the deal protested outside the courthouse in New Jersey, including Ed Bish, whose son died of an overdose.
My son had no clue. He was dabbling with heroin in a pill, and he paid for it with his life.
The State Department prepares to release a limited number of specially designed passports. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
These passports will show President Trump's portrait superimposed over the text of the Declaration of Independence. They'll be rolled out in July to commemorate the nation's 250th anniversary. The State Department says they'll feature customized artwork and enhanced imagery while maintaining the same security features.
Stocks are down on Wall Street. The Dow is down 51 points. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth 48 hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Speed cameras are up in parts of Redmond. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO Newsradio traffic brought to you by the Puyallup RV Show. Not much happening out there. In fact, South 5 through Seattle is cleared out. Just minor crowding through the U District. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. And North 5 looking fantastic. You've got a brief backup at that Ship Canal Bridge. It starts at 5:20, delaying your trip by a whole 3 minutes. Out in Sequim, similar story. We've got backups on Highway 101 near the Seven Cedars Casino. I believe this is road work related, but this will delay your trip by a few minutes as well. The Puyallup RV Show is back April 30th through May 3rd. Check out all the new and pre-owned models and from 15 local dealers. Kids and parking always free. PuyallupRVShow.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Speed cameras are now active outside Redmond schools this morning, but KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin reports they'll only issue a warning for now.
City officials say a speed survey shows more than 20% of drivers go at least 6 miles per hour over the limit at Redmond Middle and High School, and more than 50% of drivers speed in front of Rose Hill. Speeding tickets will be issued depending on how fast a driver is going. Those fines range from $110 to $250. And again, right now those cameras are on a warning period, but that changes as of June 12th. That's when the cameras will start issuing citations, and those will come straight to your mailbox.
A woman who used a stolen vehicle to hit and kill a grandmother will spend the next 23 years behind bars. KIRO 7's Elle Thomas has a closer look at Nicole Romanov's sentencing.
Romanov was driving a stolen truck in a neighborhood near Lacey in 2024, asking people for fentanyl. When one of them declined, she tried to run them over. She then went speeding down State Route 510. Deputies started chasing and then stopped. as Romanov blew through one red light after another, eventually smashing into another car.
At the time of her arrest, Romanov had a suspended driver's license and 3 outstanding warrants. There's a new piece of public art outside Lumen Field to mark Seattle's role as a FIFA World Cup host city. A 9-foot-tall bronze sculpture called Vital Spirit was unveiled yesterday on the stadium's North Plaza. Seattle artist Juror Sudokawa designed it with an abstract figure meant to symbolize the unity of the world through soccer. According to the Seattle Times, it's the first addition to the stadium's public art collection since 1999. Seattle Stadium, as Lumen Field will be known during the tournament, hosts 6 World Cup matches this summer. Sound Transit is unveiling a new paid parking permits at 3 light rail stations starting Friday. You can apply for $60 monthly passes or $6 day passes at Northgate and their 2 Shoreline stations.
Paid parking is a response to robust demand. Hopefully that we will be able to free up some spots with this by having some people pay and create some churn in the garage so more people can avail themselves of our parking facilities.
Sound Transit's David Jackson says the agency is also expanding the free carpool permits at Linwood and Mount Lake Terrace. You can find links to apply at mynorthwest.com, and Sully will join Jake and Spike here at about 12:30 to talk more on this. Now check on your KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy and 59 this afternoon. It's our last cool day before a nice warming trend kicks in beginning tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and 67, near 80 by Sunday. 52 in clouds over downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday to you all. Jake Skorheim sitting here, Spike O'Neill right there.
Hey, brother.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, my friend. Good to be here with you.
It's great to be here with you. Tons of stuff to get to, which we will. We've got some good guests today. Chris Sullivan's going to join us in just a few minutes. Sound Transit's doing something very tricky, actually. So he's going to join us, talk about that at 12:30. And then later in the show, our favorite Luke Ducey, one of our favorites. I won't say favorites because you can't ever tell your kids who's the favorite.
I think they know, though.
He's one of our favorites.
They all know it.
They're all very good.
Yeah, they're great. We love them all.
But Luke Ducey's going to be with us at, is it 1 o'clock?
Yes, 1 o'clock.
He'll join us at 1 o'clock, and so stick around for that. Lots of great stuff. First off, though, it doesn't look like it today. You wouldn't know it looking at today's weather because it's kind of a little bit ugly outside, and I think the high today is only in the low 60s or maybe like high 50s. But coming up, we got some hot, sweet weather coming up.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot.
You seen this on The Office? No.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Michael comes back from Jamaica.
He's got a steel drum.
And he's got a single dread from his tiny hair. It's a funny episode. You should see it. No, we got crazy good weather coming up. Saturday, it's supposed to be near 70. Sunday, it's supposed to be 75. And then on Monday, did you see we're supposed to hit near 80 degrees on Monday?
Seeing.
What do you even do with that weather? I mean, are we even going to be, we'll just be into May, and we're coming into May with like a lion roaring into May.
I'll do what I always do at the first big sunny event of the year.
Overdo it?
Put on my beekeeper suit because otherwise I will burst into flames.
Yes, true.
I will overdo it.
Yeah, me too.
I will get out there and just revel in the glory of this beautiful blue sky, golden ball.
We talk a lot about, the redeeming qualities of Washington State and why people choose to live here, even though it's very expensive. And for some of us, the politics is a little crazy, but we stay here because we get these 3 months of really beautiful weather.
And it's good.
Kind of 4 months.
Nothing
actually.
better. Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yep.
So we're just about to head into that, which is really nice. I do the same thing though. I overdo it as well.
Sure.
Anytime it's sunny weather. It was 69 degrees last weekend, I think, or whenever it was sunny.
Yeah.
And my kids were like, "Oh, we got to pull out the slip and slide." So we got out the slip and slide, which was a mistake, and I knew it was a mistake.
Wow.
And they're just going nuts, and their
little bodies can take it. They can take it. Yeah.
Well,
they're built for adversity.
One of my kids
That's how they survive.
One of my kids was not. Because as I'm watching them, I'm on the deck and I'm watching them, and I know
in a sweater,
because it's not that warm. No. I think at that point, it's late in the day. It might have been like 62 degrees
right, at the heat of the day.
They're in the spraying each other with a hose. Oh, what is it about kids that they can do that and it doesn't seem to affect them.
I think childhood is an outdoor sport by nature. I think our society is kind of leaning in the wrong direction.
I think you're right.
With regard to tablets and everything that we put kids in front of. And,
we have a story about that later.
We do.
Yeah.
It's an outdoor sport, childhood. And when kids have been pent up all winter, you do great work because you family get your boys out in the sports. That's so important.
Well,
but most kids don't get to do that. But kids in general, they'd rather be outside. If you let kids have sleep outs in the backyard, they do it in the snowstorm. They love being outside.
Stop them you gotta claw them back inside.
You gotta say no slip and slide today, but no. Not always.
I did it. Here's the problem. My wife was gone. She would have said no.
Oh, I knew that the minute you said you had the slip and slide. Yeah. I knew your wife was gone.
We have this slip and slide where it's 2 slip and slides connected, and then at the end there's a flag, and so you're racing to see who can get to the flag first.
Good.
Which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But it also encourages them to. They're just constantly smashing into each other and racing and overdoing
Builds character.
And I'm watching them, and I go, I know one of them's going to get hurt. I kept yelling at him. I'm like, don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Just the whole time. That's the soundtrack of my kids' life. It's just me screaming at them not to hurt themselves.
Do you have it on like a speed key that you just hit it?
I should.
Just save yourself, save your voice.
It should.
Yeah.
Because we got to be on the air. I can't be yelling at my kids all the time.
300 don't get hurt over a Sunday. You can't afford that.
My 8-year-old comes in the house with a bruised tailbone because he went down and he jumped on his butt instead of going on his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can't sit for like 2 days, and he's in pain. He's like he wanted to stay home from school. We drugged him up and we sent him to school. He was fine. We gave him some Tylenol. He was
I have a slip and slide injury. I can't sit in class. That's genius, actually. That boy's a genius.
I know. You're right.
Well,
You're right.
Had him tested
he really pepped up.
That's genius.
He healed awfully fast.
Yeah.
You're totally right. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to. The weather's going to be great, so you let us know on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. How do you guys celebrate? What do you do? We'll read some of those later on in the show. It'll be very interesting. Can we start with a bizarre story? I saw this in the Seattle Times.
This is the lady in the car?
This is not the lady in the car. This is the stabbing guy who was on trial, who was a retrial for a stabbing.
Yeah.
And then okay, I'm going to read to you a little bit from the Seattle Times, and then we can discuss. I think he's got a legitimate case here. He's asking for a retrial. His lawyers are asking for a retrial. Listen to this. A defendant, and there's two stabbings taking place here.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit to decipher what's happening. So you just have to imagine these are 2 separate cases as I describe this to you.
Right. Well, it's good. Just lay it out in the timeline. A man was put on trial.
Man was put on trial in 2019. He was convicted of stabbing 2 others. He wants a new trial now because one of the jurors who convicted him 3 days after his conviction apparently went in and did some stabbing himself.
Had his own instance.
Of stabbing, right. A separate stabbing.
And the original stabber from 2019, he was convicted of, wasn't he convicted first off of second-degree manslaughter, and there was an error in the case, courtroom error.
Yeah, and then they were looking to get basically a downgrading of the charges, and so they get a new trial. The jury upholds, I believe, the original verdict.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? And then they find out that one of the guys on that trial, according to the motion, just read to this. 3 days later, it's like that SpongeBob meme, like
3 days later.
3 days later. 3 days later.
Sorry, this is a serious issue. Somebody got stabbed.
Well,
That's
I know, but it doesn't mean
3 days later.
Doesn't mean we can't have fun.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
3 days later, a 20-year-old man broke into a family's home near Everett, allegedly stabbing a 45-year-old woman and an 18-year-old daughter. That is horrible. Before another family member restrained him in a chokehold. According to a motion filed by the first guy's defense team, that 20-year-old man was juror number 14 in this first stabbing trial.
Correct.
You've
nailed it.
The defense is now seeking a new trial because they're saying this is juror misconduct. And the 20-year-old reportedly, according to the Seattle Times piece, said that he was sent by Jesus to do this and that he's a schizophrenic. And that guy's on your jury? I would also go listen, there needs to be a little better. Is it Wadir? How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Wadar. My cousin Vinny said it best. Wadar. You want the Wadar, the witness.
What? What?
It's the vetting process both legal teams have, the defense and the prosecution have.
Yeah.
They approve jurors. They want to make sure that the jury pool is a fair and balanced representation of your peers, jury by your peers, paramount to our legal system. You got some guy who's a schizophrenic. 3 days after the verdict is read, this guy's attacking somebody, 2 people,
who says
with
Jesus
knives.
sent him to stab people.
How did this guy get cleared? I mean, this is a valid case.
It feels like a valid case to me.
So
I mean, it's not to say the first guy's not guilty
No,
of what he did. He's just
exactly.
saying, like, hey, you know what? Let's give another look at the trial. Make sure everything's above board.
You want to get it right. You know, he was juror number 14.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of his fellow citizens came to the conclusion, but if you got one, sick individual in the jury pool, that's reason alone to say that's a bad jury. We need to retry this case. And I think he's going to get it.
They retry cases all the time.
They do, because they want to get it right.
They throw out juries all the time because somebody can have a cell phone. If they're ordered to stay away from the internet and they can't check in with people, and then somebody ends up finding they have a cell phone, they go, oh, okay, we got to blow the whole case.
Some guy did an interview somewhere.
Yes.
In the middle of a jury, or he's reading this, or he's watching that, and you're not supposed to do that.
I would certainly.
There's responsibility as a juror.
Somebody was a schizophrenic, especially if he was a proven. Here's a question. Maybe a lawyer can send us a message on this. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Let's say you're doing your pretrial stuff, and the voir dire comes in.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to ask, is that part of the process? I don't know the answer to this. Is that part of the process to know everybody's mental health history? I think it should be.
You know, it's funny. I just went through this last fall. I was in jury, the selection process. Remember, we weren't sure if I was going to be a have to serve or not, like a day before Christmas.
Yeah.
They're going to call, or the 26th, they're going to call us in.
You remember my advice? I was like, pretend to be a schizophrenic.
Right.
Who stabs people. And you said, I don't know.
I didn't think it would work.
Yeah.
But here it is.
And it works.
I'm trying to remember back of the questionnaire. There's a multiple page questionnaire.
Are you a schizophrenic? Is that one of them?
My mental health I don't think there are any mental health questions on that questionnaire. Do I have a history of blank? Have I ever been hospitalized for whatever? I don't think those. It was more about, can you come on a Tuesday? Will your boss give you the day off?
You get the day off.
Yeah. Have you
Any
ever
mental
been
health? It's about work.
It was actually, there were actual questions about, have you ever been convicted of? Have you ever had a family member who's been a victim of this particular type of crime or that particular type of crime? Looking for predisposed biases.
Yeah.
In whatever case you may be assigned to. That's more what they're searching for. And my concern is that this guy's clearly not well. He stabbed a couple people. The second guy, the juror 14. Let's do that. Call him juror 14. Did he even know he was schizophrenic? Well, prior to this, I mean, he may have lived.
It's a good question.
May have lived a clean, happy, super life. Worked as a grocer. Who knows what he did?
I would imagine there was some. There's probably some tells. If 3 days later you're hearing voices who are telling you to stab people, I would imagine that's just not. You're probably not doing it the first time either. You probably hear a voice and go like, "Was you hear a voice?"
Jesus, come on!
I'm not stabbing anyone.
Sorry, big.
And then you hear a voice. Like, I imagine that has to go on for more than 3 days. That's a great question. According to the websites I'm seeing, you can request excusals if you can provide documentation that you have conditions that would prohibit you from serving.
Okay. I hear voices. I mean, it's funny because people are always trying to get out of jury duty.
But they say this is not with this. They say without necessarily disclosing personal or detailed medical information. So my question is, that information may be protected. They may not even be able to ask you that stuff.
Wow.
I think that's a hole in the system, don't you?
It seems like it. We've got a lot of friends who are attorneys. We've had them on the show on numerous occasions, different attorneys.
Yeah.
We should reach out to somebody that we know in the industry and ask.
You should be able to ask.
What are you allowed to ask?
You should be like, hey, give me all your mental health stuff. I want to make sure that you're not like a...
I mean, well, these days, could anybody qualify for a jury? If everybody's dirty, dark secrets and closets were opened up? Could you find 12 people?
Of course. You could find at least 11. 11 angry men. Not quite schizophrenic level angry, but very angry.
They stopped at angry. Yeah. That's the threshold. Yes, I'm angry, but I wouldn't call myself crazy.
You can go angry, but you can't actually do the thing.
Right.
As long as you're angry, that's fine. As long as you put that in your proper place, it's okay. Those are natural emotions, but you can't take it to the next level.
That, by the way, is one of my top 5.
Top 5 movies?
Oh, yeah. 12 Angry Men.
It's a goodie.
One room. The entire movie, one room. If you don't count the bathroom. One room.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a fantastic. I mean,
beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of character study.
Beautiful piece.
Well acted. Brilliant actress.
Henry Fonda.
Yep. Oh,
just very, very good. Is he in a bow tie? Does my memory serves? Is he in a bow tie in that movie?
No. He's got a straight tie on in that one. But there's
is anybody wearing a bow tie? It feels like there's
was one.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah. Yep.
Wearing a bow tie. I don't know about that. That's a good question. Please let us know on the Casino Resort text line, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line.
Maybe somebody who's been through the jury process, selection process, has a little inside information too.
Yeah,
it's just this is a weird story because the original stabber, has been convicted, and I don't think a retrial is going to make a change. If if they convicted this guy twice, when they retried him and convicted him again.
Yeah, but if
now
one
we
of
get
your
a third
guys,
time.
if one of your guys also going out stabbing people, then I understand why his. Like,
can you imagine? Was he the Henry Ford?
Like, 3 days later.
Yeah. What if he was the guy?
He was the guy holding out. He's like, no, we got to hold up this conviction,
It was
guys.
11-1 before Juror 14 took over the room.
I can tell. I have a little insight into this.
I'm hearing voices telling me that this guy is the guy.
Oh my gosh, what a wild story! And yet, as the first guy's attorneys, fully I understand why they're like, hey, you know what? I think we might have.
It's your job to try every legal avenue available to you.
I just have a question. I have a question here about this guy. Wasn't that yeah, he was. All right, let's go and take this up to the judge. All right.
I see. I thought when you said you had a crazy story, I thought you were talking about the lady up at Chuckanut Drive.
No, what is it? What is this? I have no idea what you're talking about. What is Chuckanut Drive?
A woman drove off.
The other crazy story we have was Katie Wilson.
Oh, well, that's I don't have time to get into her.
Do the Chuckanut.
Okay, the 60-year-old woman was driving on, and I believe would have been Wednesday.
This is up in Bellingham.
Yeah.
I used to live on Chuckanut
It's
Drive.
a beautiful road. It's a windy coastal road. I mean, it's legendary in its beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was on her phone and got distracted and drove off the road, went down 40 foot down an embankment.
Good Lord.
And she called for help, and they found her.
Well, thank goodness she had her phone.
Well, she called for help 3 days later.
Oh, what?
She was stuck 3 days in this car.
Why couldn't she get to her phone?
She said she couldn't make her phone. There's a lot of questions in this story. They don't name the victim, the woman, in the story. They said that she was rescued as soon as she was able to use her phone and call to 911 and say, I've gone off the road. They told them exactly where she was, 3 miles north of Bow.
But 3 days later?
3 days later. And they said, well, why didn't you call when you wrecked? She goes, I couldn't get my phone to work, is what she said. I don't know if it's a who knows?
About that.
I know. I got so many questions. If I've got a lot of, well, I am this woman. I've got everybody in my life. I don't say I got a lot. Everybody in my life basically is
this woman.
Oh, well, this age.
Is this a schizophrenic story?
No. Don't jump ahead. If my lovely wife, the truly unpleasant Mrs. O'Neill, right? If she goes missing, I know, I or at least I want to know where she is.
Find my iPhone.
Right.
You guys probably use that
all the time.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law who's in town, who I adore. She's in her early 80s. I know where the woman is.
Sure.
I got her low jacked.
You got
it these days.
You got it. You don't want to be surprised.
Was there nobody in this woman's life? That for 3 days, because they rescued her, and she's okay. Injuries from the accident, some extreme dehydration.
Yeah. Clearly not.
Clearly not. Is there nobody?
My parents came over for dinner the other night, and my mom forgot something. They live 5 minutes from us. We're very blessed to be close to family. So my dad stays, and he starts mixing the margaritas, and then my mom, it was a fun night. And then my mom
runs out for limes.
Runs home for limes.
Yeah, that's what
she forgot a sweatshirt. Okay. And we were going to do a fire pit. We're going to kick off the season. And so my mom runs home, and she's gone for like an hour. They live 5 minutes away. She's gone for an hour. And there's a couple ravines on the way.
Okay.
Actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
It's not this lady. She was fine, as it turns out. But my dad, the whole time, he's just like, where is your mom? Good Lord. So he's checking the Find My iPhone thing. Because, again, somebody who cares about her whereabouts, wants to know where she is. Turns out she was just bringing a package back to our neighbors because I sent to the wrong house.
While she was out,
While she was out, yeah. And then she started chatting, and old ladies, they just chat all the time. Anyway,
I have a son-in-law too.
Yeah, she eventually made it back, and everything was fine. But that's a big time period to be missing for
3
nobody.
days. I want to find out who this woman is, because she's got nobody in your life that you could. Who do you know that could go missing for 3 days?
Well, and why was her phone not working and suddenly started working?
I have so many questions. Yeah, I have so many questions.
We got to take a quick break here, and we'll come back. On the other half of this break, we're going to have Chris Sullivan's going to join us. But do you remember that story? And I forget how old the person was, but they got in a crash. The car was upside down or something. They couldn't get out because they were stuck, and they survived they had a T-shirt that they tossed out and soaked up.
And sucked the water out of
the water out of the wet shirt.
Yes.
And that's how they survived until help arrived. Just like, it's wild what people do. So she may have done something like heroic to save herself.
Who knows? Well, she couldn't
rewired her phone or something.
Knows?
I don't know.
I mean, I got so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's okay.
She's okay.
The story gives very few details about her and her life, and
she may not want a lot of details. That sounds like a very private person.
Maybe she's embarrassed.
Yeah. All right, Chris Sullivan's going to join us. We got to play this Katie Wilson Starbucks stuff later because it's
absolutely.
I'm
not trying to run cover for the mayor.
No.
I don't want to give that impression.
Why don't we come back to this a little bit later in the show and we can discuss. But next, Chris Sullivan joins us. Sound Transit wants to take something that was free and they want to add a price tag to it. Good idea, bad idea.
Are you surprised?
Chris Sullivan joins us. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
We're facing an uncertain time when support for nonprofits is in danger. Now is the time to show up for them. Whether you give a little or a lot, every donation creates big change. Donate to nonprofits during Give Big on May 5th at wagives.org. It's up to us.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN today.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. We are live at a shooting near White Center at an encampment. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is there and joins us live with the latest. James?
Nate, SPD says this shooting happened just before 11 o'clock this morning, as you said, in an alley along Southwest Barton between 17th and 18th Avenues Southwest. There is an encampment about halfway down that alley, and that's where they say the shooting happened. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Adult male shot once in the back. Right now, that person is in serious condition. We have King County out here assisting with their drone to try to locate the suspect.
Now, that suspect is still at large. Police had thought that they had found that suspect earlier. Neighbors say they saw a man handcuffed, but they then let him go, and they are still looking for that suspect now. Anyone with information is asked to call 911. Live in Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. Community members packed Seattle City Hall today demanding action on the city's open-air drug crisis. Seattle's Public Safety Committee Chair Bob Kettle says there are problems with the city's drug possession ordinance, which is meant to prioritize treatment and diversion rather than jail.
The ordinance, in my view, has been a failure in itself, but also in its implementation.
At a city council committee meeting today, we learned drug arrests in Seattle surged 47% last year, but treatment diversions fell 30%. Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes says diversion alone cannot solve the city's drug crisis. A new Axios report says a policy requiring Governor Bob Ferguson's office to approve most state agency media responses has repeatedly delayed public information. Records show holdups involving bridge repairs, vaccine guidance, and public health alerts. Ferguson's office tells Axios the policy improves coordination, but agency staff complained it has created major communication bottlenecks. Voters in Tacoma will decide today on a $155 million parks improvement package. KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon has a closer look at Proposition 1.
Improvements for the entire park system would span about 6 years and help fix up the 120-year-old park system. Now, if approved, it would generate $155 million for more than 100 projects in at least 40 parks, community centers, and zoos across Tacoma.
Projects would also include infrastructure updates and other improvements over the next 6 to 8 years. A check on Wall Street, where numbers are down this afternoon. Dow down 40, the S&P 500 down 36, and the NASDAQ down 217. And now your KIRO News Radio traffic, brought to you by Seattle Sports. In Kirkland, we just cleared an earlier crash. South 405 and Northeast 70th Place had 3 lanes blocked, so we've still got a brief backup approaching the scene. Things are looking great through Seattle, though. South 5 pretty much wide open. North 5, you've got minor crowding at the I-90 interchange and a brief backup between 520 and the Ship Canal Bridge. 8 minutes to get through downtown. In Tacoma, South 5 at the Port of Tacoma Road, we do have a crash blocking the HOV lane. And if you're heading through Purdy this afternoon, eastbound 16 at 144th Street, road work is blocking a lane for about the next half hour or so, and we've got a brief backup there. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. All right, cloudy and 60 this afternoon, but tomorrow we warm up and we start a warming trend. 67 and mostly sunny tomorrow. Cloudy and 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Chris Sullivan joins us now. Chris, you got a good piece on mynorthwest.com. People should go check it out.
Glad you read it.
I read everything you write. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially about Sound Transit. I know.
Well, if it has the word Sound Transit in it, I'm always up to date and find out what they're doing. Tell the audience, though, there's going to be parking permits?
Yeah, for the first time ever, Sound Transit is now introducing paid parking permits at 3 of its garages, 3 of the busiest garages.
Which is swamped.
Yeah, so we're talking Northgate, Shoreline North, and Shoreline South. Those are along the light rail line there. And so basically, for the first time ever, if you want to, say, Spike, Jake, you guys get to work at 9, okay? Yeah. And you'd love to take light rail, but you live in Snohomish County, like you are close to, like you guys do, and you're all racing to Linwood. But to get a spot at Linwood, your butt better be there before 7.
Well, you mentioned the 3 stations I would probably load on it. Absolutely. That's my neighborhood.
Say you start at 9 and you want to take light rail. You have to get there by 7, maybe, to assume that you can get a spot and then ride into work. So you're 2 hours early to work. So now this allows you to buy, as a solo person, a monthly permit or a day permit to know that you can go there whenever. And between 6 and 10, there is a spot waiting for you.
Designated for you. But by 10 o'clock, it's gone.
But by 10 o'clock, it's back into the general pool.
Yeah.
But, now maybe you can sleep in, or maybe take your kids to school, or have a breakfast meeting, work out, and get to the station at 8:15 and catch a train to get you to work on time at 9.
Prior to that, you could not have done.
What's that?
But prior to this, you could not have done, because parking spots are all
full. You have to get there super early. So what they've done is this. It's a $60 monthly permit that you can apply. Now you have to apply for this.
Right, very limited space.
Yeah, it's attached to your Orca card. You then have to actually tap your Orca card they'll track to see if you're using it or not. They'll give it to somebody else. They've been doing this at several stations for free for carpoolers for a while now. So if you got a couple people together, say you two were going to the same job at the same time at the same station, you would hook 2 Orca cards up to your car and you would park there. This is the first time they're introducing paid. So people who are solos, aren't carpooling in, can then buy their way into these certain garages to hopefully help get them a space.
Can I ask you a question about this?
Yes.
Once you buy this permit, you still have to pay for parking.
No, the parking is still free. The lots are still free. This just kind of buys you, or kind of is like a space holder.
How many spaces will be available?
My question.
Okay, and here's the thing. It can be no more, by Sound Transit's board rules, are by no more than 25% of any garage can be permit parking, whether it's paid or HOV. So however many people use that, it's capped at 25% of the amount of spaces at any garage where this is available.
Do you know the capacity of these particular garages?
Well, like for instance, Shoreline, I shot video yesterday, and if you ever wanted to be bored and watch a dash cam video of someone driving around a parking lot, that's what I did. Yeah, that's what I did yesterday.
I
the
love
Shoreline
those.
North
I called
one.
the cops on you. I'm so sorry.
Really? Yeah. I went down there, and the funny thing about that is I was going down to the final level. I think that one holds up to about 400 spots, Shoreline North. So it's a little smaller than Northgate, smaller than Linwood.
So in this case, 100 cars could be permitted.
Correct. Yeah, the funny thing was I was driving down to the final level, and I saw another person coming up, and he was giving me this.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was shaking his head subconscious to me like, dude, there's nothing behind you.
Right,
You're done. You should just turn around now.
Yep.
And it was funny. I got down to the very bottom, and there's no place to turn around. At the Shoreline North, there's just a wall.
Genius.
I'm like, I had to do like a 19-point turn to be able to turn around because there was no
Austin
spots
Powers.
available. Pretty much. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. We'll see if it works. Right now, only 5 to 10% of the people are using the carpool version. And again, they have the capacity up to 25%. So they've just introduced this. And these are the 3 lots that are 90% capacity or more routinely.
Sure, yeah.
And Sound Transit will probably expand this as they go further based on garage usage. I mean, right now they don't have any real data out of the east side yet. So we'll see how that goes. But I would expect the South Bellevue Way one to get part of this program pretty quickly.
Is it a first come, first serve to fill these spaces? Is it a lottery if you apply?
Well, there's an application process, and then you have to do it a month ahead of time. So starting Friday, this is the first time it's available. So that would be for parking available June 1 going forward. So they start about a month ahead of time.
You have to reapply every month.
Correct.
Ugh.
And if you don't use your card, or if you don't tap or don't use it often enough,
if you reserve it and don't use it,
you will lose the ability to apply, or they might deny you the next time.
The next month, okay.
Yeah, and so what I find, and I was kind of curious too, is how would a one-day permit work like if I'm working a month in advance. I was like,
and on Thursday,
like
the
on
23rd,
Thursday, I'm going to be there. But I'll tell you one thing it would do. Think about, say for instance, we weren't working on a Tuesday or Wednesday. We have a schedule where Tuesday and Wednesday we had off. Mariners had a 12:30 first pitch. Oh, heck yeah, a month in advance. I know when that's happening. And I'll buy a one-day permit, guarantee a spot, get up there at 9, take light rail down, and not have to worry about a parking spot. And it cost me $6, not $65 at the stadium if I drove with my car. So other than that, I can't imagine how that one day would be very useful a month in advance. But again, it's starting Friday.
So this is a new thing.
Correct.
They're going to start at 3 of these garages. Where are you at on this, Spike? What do you think?
It's too little too late. The amount of people who will want to use this will flood it. And then reapplying every single month, it's a hit or miss proposition. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. It's not like you can reserve it for a year and not have to go through start building a habit of using the light rail to get to work. Yeah. If I can do it in June, but I can't do it, I miss it in July, I'm not going to pick up this habit.
Can I ask you guys another question? This would be to Sound Transit. So you guys probably couldn't answer this, but you guys can think like Sound Transit for a second.
Hold on, let me hit myself in the head with a hammer to
dumb. You have any money? Hold on, can I see your wallet for a minute?
Well,
that's sorry, that was unfair. That was a low blow.
No.
Here's the question.
Deserved.
Why do they hate poor people? Why does Sound Transit hate poor people? They're going to take away a quarter of the spaces and give them to people who can afford. These were free spots before?
Correct.
Now they're going to make them cost money for somebody who has the extra means. And I've been told all the time that the most important thing is to make sure that everybody has equal access to everything. And now they're going to take these spots, which we have all paid for with taxes, and they're going to charge an additional fee for people who can afford it. I don't see how that's fair.
It's a good question, but it might encourage you to get a friend. And then you could do it for free via the carpool, the free.
It's possible, but
then again, that doesn't work for everybody. I see your point.
So why does Sound Transit hate poor people so much?
It becomes the express toll lane of 405.
100%.
It kind of be those who have the means, have the ability.
We've been able to buy our way past traffic for years now.
And I hate that.
I'm with you.
I hate this.
It's further separation of the classes, and you're spot on about this.
I mean, I'm doing it a little facetiously. I don't actually care that much, but I don't like that they're.
You don't really care about poor people, but somebody should speak up on their behalf.
No. I do care about poor people. Poor people, but Sound Transit makes people poor by taking money for things that poor people aren't even using to begin with. So that's not a good thing. And then to further make that worse by charging people for spaces that they used to give for free. This is they have figured out. Hit your head with a hammer again if you guys want to pretend to be Sound Transit. But here's the thing. They have now taken, just like you said, they have taken the toll lane model and they've applied it to a parking space. That's no good. I don't like that. That seems like a bad idea.
But they're trying to get people in the habit of using Sound Transit, and a lot of people aren't making this move because they can't count on having a place to park. And they figure if people can guarantee themselves a place to park, then they would be jumping onto the train and starting a new habit. That's the thought process behind it.
Here's the other thing that it highlights: tiny, tiny, tiny garages, and how few people are actually using these trains. You're talking about a garage with 400 spaces.
Yeah,
400 people. 25% of those is 100 cars that are now off the road. Huge win, folks. 100 cars off the road.
Well, potentially 100, but potentially as many as 200 if all of those people were taken up
cars off the road.
Yeah.
How many cars are driving across the Tacoma Narrows Bridge every single day when it's busy? 120,000. We're talking about 200 spaces as if this is a massive win? What a ridiculous system.
How do you eat a whale? One bite at a time. You got to get one car off the road. I'm trying, but I'm sorry. I hit my head with the hammer, so I'm not really.
You should work for Sound Transit.
I do.
This is
technically we all do because we all
we're the bank.
We're the financiers.
All right, so this is something people can do now. They can book your spaces.
Yeah, starting Friday, you can go to mynorthwest.com. There's a link there to the permitting process, how it works. What garages are available.
Good for them.
And we'll see how it goes.
Do we know what a time frame is if you apply, when they'll award you a spot or not?
That I don't because I haven't gone that far down the line.
I imagine I'm 12:01 on Friday morning. People are going to be starting. It's like buying tickets to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll find out pretty quickly.
It's like booking a campsite at the beginning of the season.
It's exactly what it is.
It's just like immediately they're all gone, and then you're frustrated, and then you find out they're closing campgrounds, and then you get even angrier.
The good thing is your spot won't show up on eBay. I don't think, because it's tied to your car and your Orca card.
Not yet. Somebody's going to figure it out.
Until they find a way to get around that.
Somebody's going to figure it out.
But yeah, go check it out. It's an interesting idea. First time they've tried it, and we'll see.
Fascinating.
But again, It's the haves and the have-nots now for parking.
There you go. Chris Sullivan, check it out on mynorthwest.com. Thanks for coming in, man.
Anytime.
We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagaich has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Right now, get a free furnace with the purchase of a premium heat pump and air cleaning package at CM Heating. Start today with an always free estimate. There's no beating CM Heating for heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical. Go to cmheating.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is a segment about happy old people. Happy old people.
May we become them.
May we all end up so lucky as these happy old people. The first one, this is just a genuinely nice video that I saw going around on X this morning. It is a retirement home where all of the seniors, not all of them, but a bunch of them, have gotten together and kind of like, have you been in retirement homes
many
before?
times, yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
You advertise for
I
retirement
do.
homes.
I love working with those folks.
Big, giant area, like kind of like where they might have a community area.
Yeah, it's so important for the elderly.
Get out, be social.
Yep,
these
exactly right. Yep.
And somebody brought in a T-ball set, and they have like an outdoor or an outfield makeshift fence.
Right, a tiny little. It's for little kids. It's a T-ball set. It's a wiffle ball and bat.
Yeah.
And a tee, and then
plastic bat.
A little outfield fence perimeter with like Major League Baseball logos on it and all the fun things. It's a lovely setup.
And these old people are standing there next to this T-ball set, and they're just like little kids. And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, like, this is actually a really great idea. I wonder if this would catch on. Because, you want to find fun things that people can do that they're not necessarily going to hurt themselves doing.
When you first said, I found this video of T-ball for the elderly, I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
The risk factor seems awful high, but
it's very gentle.
This is gentle, and you're right. The smiles, you're watching the years melt away from these wonderful people.
Tell me honestly, wouldn't this be fun at your local, senior center to have, or wherever, to have teams who play regularly, and they're like the competition, and they're playing each other, and they get the old-fashioned like three-quarter sleeve jerseys that they get to put on.
Yeah,
and they get to go up, and I mean, it's funny because I'm on the opposite side of this right now. My 6-year-old, he's just out of T-ball right now, but it's like coach pitch. So if they get beyond a full count with the coaches, they don't want the kids to all not have a good time. So they get like a swing out of T.
Okay.
So it's like one step past T-ball, but it's still kind of T-ball. So I'm seeing like the younger side of this, and they will grow in the sport, and they'll eventually get really good, and then they're throwing fastballs, and they're doing it well. But eventually, life slows back down, and you kind of start where you end up, or you end up where you started.
It's a big circle.
It's
really
a big
is.
circle. And how fun would it be to see these people compete? Do you think that would catch on if people did that?
It'd be wonderful if it does.
Because competition.
Yeah, but it's you know what? The only person this person is competing. I'm looking at the video. We're talking about folks that are in wheelchairs. They're able to come up and have a ball sitting on a tee and swing a bat and get a smile and drive a ball a little bit. And even if it just knocks off the tee and dribbles 5 feet.
Sure.
That moment is, and the smile on that lady's face, or this other lady, she's at a walker. She's bracing herself on a walker and only able to swing the bat with one hand, but she still knocks the ball, and she's
doing it.
She's a little kid again.
Yeah.
She's back there probably with her folks at the ball game when she was tiny.
Do you remember that Twilight Zone, Kick the Can? Do you remember that episode? Like from way, 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 way back? It's black and white, 1950s.
I don't remember, but I'm old enough to. I played Kick the Can, dude. We played Kick the Can.
Everybody knows what Kick the Can is.
Yeah,
I saw
those were tough times. America was at war. Nobody had time for a ball and
we all had to save up for a can. We bought a collective can. I've never actually played
That's
Kick the Can.
That's 5 cents, my old man said. You can't be taking down the street and kicking it.
I know what Kick the Can is because
Sure.
I've seen it in historical videos.
Okay, thank you.
I'm joking. No, but in Twilight Zone,
it was 1971.
This man comes into the Twilight Zone was brilliant.
It was really brilliant.
So
I probably have seen it. But
you've probably seen it. But let me just give you the quick.
Me.
This guy comes to an elderly person's home, to a senior center, and he wants to play. He's a new resident. He wants to play kick the can. And so at night, he goes out and he convinces one of them to come play kick the can with him. And they just feel like they're so young. And, they got this rejuvenation. It's almost like a precursor to Cocoon. Remember Cocoon?
Now that you jog my memory, they become little kids.
And so they all are playing and they're having fun. And one of the guys is a curmudgeon and he doesn't want to participate. And then everybody ends up going out. And one night, under some mysterious moonlight, a magic happens. And they start as old people, but by the end of the game, they're little kids again. And he's watching. And he's dragged his feet the whole time. And he didn't want to buy into it again. And he just wanted to be a curmudgeonly old man. And he didn't want to, try to be youthful.
Silliness, foolishness.
And then everybody who's watching, it wasn't Burgess Meredith, was it? I don't think so.
He was in
the glasses guy.
He was in so many episodes.
And then they end up becoming little kids, and they run off into the night, seemingly to have another chance at life.
Right, rebirth. Yeah,
it's beautiful, and it speaks to this really beautiful thing that this captures.
These folks are feeling that same rejuvenation.
Yeah,
that same wonderful trip back in time, even for just a moment of a swing of a plastic bat.
The competition's
this is wonderful.
Nice, so
that's worth pursuing.
It's worth pursuing. I'd want to crush it. If I'm going to compete.
Yeah, well, that's your name.
It's not just me wanting to win. I want them to lose.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm just kidding.
The thing. How do you send the old folks back to the shady acres?
Everybody wins in T-ball.
Winless season, folks.
Yes. Undefeated. It just gets real dark.
Just these wonderful smiles.
All right, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Luke Ducey's going to join us next. So stick around. You don't want to miss a second of it. We'll be right back.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing, a chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today.
Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHAV.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. King Charles III has addressed a joint session of Congress marking America's 250th anniversary. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The king traveled from a red carpet ceremony at the White House to the halls of Congress, where he acknowledged what he described as a time of great uncertainty, but also solidarity.
We stand united in our commitment to uphold democracy.
While praising the enduring friendship between the U.S. and the UK, the king drew applause over his comments about Ukraine.
That same unyielding resolve is needed for the defense of Ukraine and her most courageous people.
The king and queen will cap off their trip to Washington with an official state dinner at the White House tonight. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Former FBI Director James Comey is indicted again. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
This is the second time Comey has faced charges brought by President Trump's Justice Department. The specific charges aren't known, but stem from an image he briefly shared to Instagram last year that showed seashells arranged in the sand to form the numbers 8647. Then Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said Comey had called for the assassination of the president. Comey deleted the photo and said he didn't realize the numbers were associated with violence.
The Federal Communications Commission orders Disney to file for early license renewals, citing an ongoing investigation into the company's DEI practices. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr tells the Katie Miller podcast that broadcasters are to operate in the public interest. And
if we find that a broadcaster hasn't been doing that, then the statute requires us to issue a hearing designation order, and that's a multi-month process.
The early review also comes after President Trump calls for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired for a joke made about the First Lady days before Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. A former NBA player and assistant coach has pleaded guilty in a gambling sweep. More from CBS's Michael Wallace.
Damon Jones is the first person to plead guilty in the case, in which more than 30 basketball stars and alleged mobsters were charged. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. One for helping to defraud sports betting companies by using his connections to get insider information on players' injuries, and the other for his role in rigged poker games.
Affordability concerns dominate Gallup's annual economy and personal finance survey this year. CBS's Allison Keyes.
31% of Americans said in an open-ended question that the cost of living is the most important financial problem facing their families. But energy costs were mentioned by 13%, which is up 10 percentage points from last year and is the highest since 2008. That ties housing costs as the second biggest concern.
Stocks closed down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Y'all came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Seattle police are looking for a gunman this afternoon. More on that straight ahead. But first, a quick check on your traffic brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. We're looking real good through Seattle this afternoon. In fact, South 5 just minor crowding right through the heart of downtown. And North 5, we're filling in between the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90. Nothing heavy yet, but you will jam up at 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. Less than 15 minutes to get through all this. 5 minutes of that is at the Ship Canal backup. Over in Kirkland, we've got a new collision, South 405 and Northeast 85th, blocking your left general purpose lane. And over in Bremerton, we're seeing an early start this afternoon to our afternoon backup southbound 3 near Sinclair Inlet. Considering a new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Seattle police are looking for a gunman following an encampment shooting in White Center this morning. A 911 call came in about 10:50 reporting gunfire and a man down at an encampment in an alley along Southwest Barton between 17th and 18th Avenues. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Officers arrived and found a male with a gunshot wound to the back, adult male. Officers provided aid until Seattle Fire Department arrived, and then the male was transported to Harvey Medical Center in serious condition.
The gunman is still on the loose. Anyone with information should call 911. A newly released document dump is ramping up scrutiny of Washington's millionaires tax, and Nick Brown is finally responding to questions about it. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more from the AG's press conference in Olympia.
When asked, is it appropriate to work with lawmakers to help keep the millionaires tax off the November ballot, AG Brown attacked the question.
That's just wrong. My Solicitor General and people in the office were talking about how this couldn't go to referendum, so we weren't trying to bypass the voters. The framing of the question and the reporting of that is just incorrect.
Brown also denied his office helped Democrat lawmakers plan to force a challenge to case law in the state Supreme Court and change the Constitution, paving the way for a graduated income tax. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Luke will be joining Jake and Spike here in moments in studio to discuss that in more length. New pedestrian lights along Alki Avenue are now in place, and West Seattle business owners hope this will help prevent a growing number of break-ins at beachfront shops and restaurants. Thieves broke into Fire Tacos on Alki back in February, and co-owner Erica Torres told KIRO 7 it had a huge impact on their bottom line.
It's just very sad, especially small businesses, especially during, tax seasons as well. It's just really hard for us to try to move forward.
Westside Seattle reports the new LED lights will better illuminate sidewalks and help boost safety after dark. New nonstop service from Seattle to Rome takes off today at SeaTac Airport. The inaugural flight of Alaska Airlines 180 leaves the gate at 5:30 tonight with a new long-haul cabin that includes lie-flat suites and other onboard amenities. Alaska will hold a mini celebration at the departure gate featuring cannoli, gelato, and remarks from Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minicucci. And now your KIRO News Radio weather: cloudy and cool today with a high around 57. Tomorrow we'll do a 180 with temps 10 degrees warmer and sunshine near 80 by Sunday. Clouds and 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours left to go. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We thought it would be fun to invite one of our favorite KIRO News Radio's reporters. KIRO News Radio reporters. It's just one person. It's not multiple people. Into the show to join us, and he joins us right now. Luke Ducey.
I am going to drop a deuce on everybody.
Yes, he is. Welcome.
Yeah, we got a deuce today.
We actually do have a deuce. We got two stories to do.
Double deuce.
Double deuce. Double deuce.
Deuces on the loose.
That's one of the best movies of all time. Double Deuce.
Double Deuce, Roadhouse. You bet. Come
Luke,
on.
do you like Roadhouse?
Sure. Who doesn't like Roadhouse?
Of course. Is that the best Patrick Swayze movie of all time? Quick side conversation.
Nope.
Best Patrick Swayze movie of all time. Go.
Oh, dude.
Red Dawn.
Oh,
I love Red Dawn.
Man,
Right?
I forgot about Red
Right?
Dawn.
I mean, yeah. Patrick Swayze, Ghost.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. Right?
No, what's the one where they're the skydiver bank robbers?
Oh, Point Break.
Point Break.
Good
Sorry.
golly.
Yeah,
All right.
on,
Name
right?
one movie of his that's not good. New conversation. All right, Luke, you have a couple of stories to talk about. Let's jump right into. Let's do the first one because we can tease ahead to our 2 o'clock conversation. They're both AG stories, actually.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Let's do the first one where you got a chance to ask a little bit more and look a little bit more into the AG's connection to the writing of the Senate bill, which then became the millionaire's tax.
You want to do that one first? Sure. Okay.
Income tax on everyone.
Absolutely. You're talking about a Center Square report was cut about a week ago that came out that they uncovered nearly 1,000 emails and documents that appeared to reveal a plan to get the state Supreme Court to overturn case law that could lead to a graduated income tax for all Washingtonians. And the way to do that
was, according to these emails, and Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson, was to force the state Supreme Court to take up the millionaire's tax, which is now a law, and kind of force that to happen so you can start all the other mechanisms in place. So yesterday, we've contacted the AG's office multiple times on this issue, and we've asked multiple times. And every time, I'll be fair, they have responded very, very quickly.
Sure.
Like almost immediately, but it's never been the AG himself.
Please stop asking us questions.
Never been the AG himself. And so now the Attorney General Nick Brown himself answered questions about this at a press conference in Olympia yesterday. He was asked point blank by Center Square, do you think it's appropriate for your office to be giving lawmakers advice on how to break the state constitution? Because in the emails, Jamie Peterson and others were in contact with the AG's office on multiple occasions, a lot of questions and back and forth and advice about how to, craft, et cetera, and advice on the language that would go into the bill that then became the millionaire's tax law.
Well, I would disagree with your framing of it, but it is very common for AG's offices to advise their clients on the law, the status of cases. It is something that all of my predecessors have done. So yes, I think it's pretty common and appropriate.
So on the issue of the state constitution and were they giving advice to lawmakers on how to break it? To be fair, I've read most of the emails. It doesn't appear anywhere that Brown's office gave specific advice on how to specifically break the Constitution. Like here's what you do step by step. Instead, the Attorney General's office seemed to be advising on what the Constitution will let them do and what not. AG Brown was also asked, is it inappropriate or appropriate to work with lawmakers to help keep the millionaire's tax off the ballot?
That's just wrong. If you look at the email communications, my Solicitor General and people in the office were talking about how this, because it's raising revenue, couldn't go to referendum. So we weren't trying to bypass the voters. The framing of the question and the reporting of that is just incorrect.
Instead, the AG's office said, they were advising on how the Constitution would not allow a referendum on the millionaire's tax. So I guess it comes down to if you think the AG is lying or if, you think the Center Square's reports are inferring something else based on those emails.
When you were reading the emails, at what point in the discussion and who made the suggestion that they needed to add the emergency clause so that it doesn't go through the normal referendum process? Do you remember that, or is that
that's pretty? We could probably look into that. We're talking about specific emails.
I'm just saying, whose idea was it originally? Was the AG suggesting it, or his office saying, hey, by the way, you're going to need to add an emergency clause so that it's not subject to the referendum process, which then takes the voters out of it?
Yeah. His office made a lot of recommendations, and that certainly would have been was one of the discussions back and forth between the Solicitor General, the AG's office, and lawmakers.
And
for
Peterson.
Sure.
I think that's where people are saying, well, hey, who are you representing here? Are you representing the people, or are you representing the legislators?
Well, it's actually the Attorney General's responsibility to represent both. The Attorney General is the state's legal counsel for state agencies, committees, commissions, boards, all those things. They have legal questions, and the Attorney General is their lawyer.
They have no other consultants that they can talk to about this?
They have somebody that the state pays as their legal counsel. That's his job.
Who elects that person? The legislator or citizens of Washington?
Citizens of Washington elect him.
Okay, so he's not appointed. No, but he's not appointed by the legislation. Is my question.
No, he's not appointed by the legislation. No,
he's elected.
Yeah.
Popular vote by the people.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the thing that people are saying here, and I think the feeling that people have, and he's saying that, you guys are just looking at it wrong. The feeling that people have is that he's working with legislators, Jamie Peterson. Who's the drunk guy? What was his name?
Oh, Bumgarner?
Fitzgibbon.
Joe
Fitzgibbon.
Sorry. I shouldn't speculate. Shouldn't try to remember because my memory sucks.
Was there any allegations?
No. I'm not going to say his name again.
There's
not. His name 3 times. He'll appear.
No. If we're just drawing stuff out of a hat, we're just making stuff up. But Fitzgibbon's, who was the one who was drunk and said I was drunk?
I think that's him.
Okay. So Fitzgibbon and Peterson, these are the guys that we're talking about. People have a feeling that if you have the AG's office, who's elected by the people, in emails to these lawmakers about how do we make sure that the people don't have part of the referendum process, which normally they would, what do we do in that case? And if somebody there makes a suggestion like, well, according to the Constitution, you would need to have it be some sort of an emergency clause so that it doesn't end up going back to the people. That's where it feels like, and it sounds like that's still a fuzzy area.
Well, go ahead. It sounds like you're asking, or you're insinuating that someone inferred, how do we keep this from the people?
That's exactly what it feels like.
Well, it may be, as the Attorney General's framing it.
Why do they call it an emergency clause then?
So it may be that that Peterson said, look, this is an emergency. Is it legal for us to call it that? We view it as an emergency. Under state constitution, you're our lawyer. Do we have valid reasons to call this a state emergency?
We see this as an emergency in 3 years. We all understand that given the timeline that this thing rolls out, that they actually don't see it as an emergency. What they're trying to do is keep people from having a say in this, because when they look into the past, which is the best way to predict the future, every time they've given it to the people in the past, the people have said no, like big time no. Even like, what was it, just 2 years ago that they voted this thing down? So obviously they'd want to keep it out of the hands of people. So I think what people are feeling, even if it's, according to the AG, there's no fire near that smoke, but it feels like people are thinking, why are you working behind closed doors to angle this in just such a way that people are not going to be able to have the referendum process? They just felt bad. People don't like it.
Even if we'll assume that Peterson says, how do we keep this out of the public's hands because they won't vote in the state's, what we feel is the state's best interest? I'm going to concede that. How do we keep it in the public's hands? The Attorney General's job to say is that that's either legal or illegal. So he's not counseling them how to do it. He's counseling them on the legality of their proposed actions.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I'm just saying that the Attorney General, who's popularly elected by the people, I would hope is more considering what the people voted him in there to do and not do backroom conversations with the Peterson camp on how to keep the people out of the conversation on how much they're taxed. Is that a fair? Or is that just convoluted and confusing? I feel like I confuse myself.
He's got a responsibility to the agencies that the state puts together in government to get things done. He's got a legal responsibility to give them legal counsel, to commissions, to agencies, to boards, to all these people.
Sure.
As much as the AG represents the citizens of Washington, he's also the lawyer for every organization the government puts together.
Okay.
I would also add this. I think all the questions are fair that you're asking, especially from a journalist lens. I think those are all fair questions. Absolutely, they should be on the table. And I'm glad these questions were asked as well. But it comes down to then, do you believe you're going to get an answer, especially as a journalist, from the Attorney General's office? And we just got one. So then it comes down to, do you believe them or not? Face value of it.
At the end of the day, he's a lawyer. It's lawyer speak. We get it.
Yeah. But then you're left with, okay, then prove it. How do you prove what he said is not true? Do these emails? Do they infer perhaps there is some other conversations going on with lawmakers? I'll leave the AG's office out of it for a second. With lawmakers, yeah, probably. You think they just communicated in emails? Probably not. They probably talk to each other as well, right?
Yeah, they're probably, because they're not stupid people.
And they're doubling. And now that they've got the millionaire's tax passed, they're doubling down on their messaging that we got the tax passed. They can now say other things like, yes, it's always a good thing to challenge the Constitution and things like that. But if you don't, I think what the AG's point is, and it's hard to get there with the AG. If that's the answer you're getting, how do you get beyond that answer to say, no, what he's saying is not true, there was actually more involvement? I don't know. I don't know.
I like
Rob McKenna. But I like that the questions are being asked.
I like Rob McKenna a lot, former AG.
I do too.
I think the guy should be governor of our state.
Voted for him when he ran.
Here's what Rob McKenna had to say, and he's going to join us in just about 45 minutes to talk about this. He said, I had not seen before this week an example. Again, this is the guy who was that job. I had not seen before this week an example of the AG's office actively collaborating with a legislative sponsor on how to draft a bill that could get the Constitution basically reinterpreted and 95 years of precedent overturned. I think that's what people are concerned about, and that's the one that Nick Brown seems to be just kind of like saying, hey, there's nothing to see here. Don't worry about it.
I'm putting my PR lens on right now. There's a word in there, could. And I think could changes the meaning of the sentence. You know what it does? McKenna's a very smart guy too.
Yeah.
And if he's listening right now,
it's all lawyerly
Rob,
speak.
I love the interviews with you, so please keep them coming.
Come on back in 40 minutes. He'll be here.
But the word could makes that shift. It's in other words, it's unprovable. It's not a cause and effect necessarily anymore. It's a could.
No, but the bigger point is that he said he has not seen in his firsthand experience an example of the AG's office working with legislative sponsors
but that doesn't
to draft a bill.
That doesn't make it out of bounds or illegal. Just means he hasn't seen it, right? And to be completely
first time for everything.
Sure.
And Rob McKenna's stuff all the time.
Rob McKenna's representing the other side of the equation, who's challenging this in court. Of course, Rob McKenna's going to take an opposing viewpoint on how we see this. I love that we get both sides of this represented.
Yep.
We should. As Luke said, as journalists, that's our job.
Yeah.
To get these questions. That's just great questions. And these guys
We're
go
for the
back
people.
and
Here's the thing. I'm for the people. If it's not what Nick Brown's up for, whatever. It's not what Jamie Peterson's up for, whatever. If Spike, if you don't care about that, whatever.
You know how I feel about people.
I care about it. I'm for the people. I want the people to have a say in this, just like Rob McKenna. It sounds like he does. So
that's why there are quips like fly on the wall, right? Don't we all want to be a fly on the wall?
Sure, room where it happens.
Room where it happens.
See how the sausage is made.
Have you seen some of these people? I do not want to be a fly on that wall.
We just need to run for. Who has a law degree? We can run for AG, and then we can be there. You can invite all of us in.
No, thanks.
Come on.
No, thanks.
Let's move on to this story about Safeway and Albertsons and Hagen.
Yes, tell us about
this lawsuit from Attorney General Brown.
Yep, Nick Brown just announced also yesterday, filed a lawsuit against Safeway, Albertsons, and Hagen, alleging retailers violated consumer protection laws through deceptive buy one, get one free promotions. Here's what was going on, according to the AG's office, that these stores have been doing this on staples like bread, cereal, and fresh produce and other items, overcharging customers in more than 3 million transactions, pulled in some $20 million doing this over some 5 years. So here's an example that the AG said to us. At Albertsons in Gig Harbor, the store at one point hiked up the price of olive oil from $6.99 to $10.99 a week before their buy one, get one free deal. Then when the deal was over, they knocked that price back down 57%.
Consumers walk into these stores, think that they're getting a bargain, but in reality, they're just paying an inflated price for that first item.
So Albertsons Companies, the parent company that's based in Idaho, this is not the first time they've been involved in something like this. They paid more than $100 million to settle a similar class action lawsuit back in 2016 in Oregon. They did send me a statement yesterday that said that they had discussed this actually with the Attorney General before the lawsuit, before any of this got to this point.
Albertsons did?
They were talking to each other. And they said, we engaged in good faith discussions with the Attorney General's office and strongly disagree with its claims, which are based on flawed analysis and data errors that we identified and raised. They also said they're committed to complying with the law and offering customers clear value through their promotions. But apparently, they had discussions leading up to this lawsuit, and Albertsons is kind of acting like, we're surprised that all of a sudden now we're being sued over this. We thought we were discussing it.
I wonder if this is one of those smokescreen things where, like, he comes out and he says, hey, I'm going to make a big public announcement that's going to be like me fighting for the people. And at the very same time, he has another very prominent story. I mean, watch that G and Ursula interview with Jamie Peterson yesterday. It was great. And it was all about how much people are feeling and thinking that they had the wool pulled over their eyes as this thing was being sold to them. Not even sold to them, just rammed down their throats. So now you have the AG who's having a very unpopular moment because people are saying, hey, wait a minute, is your office colluding against us? And that's not what we put you in the office for. That's a question that's being asked. And so he steps out and he says, hey, you know what? I'm going to help keep your olive oil cheaper. I'm fighting for you.
It's expensive.
These are you're laughing at me, Spike. These are questions that I have.
It's pretty. I appreciate that you're asking questions, but if you think this is just a smokescreen of a lawsuit, you got to have some basis in fact to bring charges.
I didn't say he invented it the day before. I'm just saying, like, he's looking through the bin and he goes, what can I pick up that would look good? And what can I do?
You're saying the timing looks suspicious to you?
I'm saying the timing looks suspicious. I think the timing of it, given what he's also being asked right now, is interesting.
Do you think if the Center Square hadn't got the emails and took the angle that, hey, the Attorney General is colluding with Democratic lawmakers to find a way to subvert the Constitution, keep people from the voting process?
Okay.
That's basically I'm leaning into the story, paraphrasing it.
Sure.
You think that story broke? The Attorney General says, "Okay, then let's get this lawsuit filed. Let's change the narrative."
I don't know.
It's not an unfair question.
I'm asking the question.
People change the narrative all day long.
Luke's
and every
a PR guy.
Yeah.
Luke knows PR. What would you do?
It's interesting, and I'll ask the questions to you because it's interesting that we talk about smoke screens or, hey, look over here. That's one tactic, sure, right, for a lot of people, misdirection. On the other side, though, because you brought up Jamie Peterson on the G and Ursula show, if you go back and listen to that fully, there's another way, and there's another tactic, is just kind of doubling down or just owning the narrative and saying, yeah, this is what we're doing.
Trying to change the Constitution.
And I think if Jamie Peterson were here, he would say something to the effect that, it's a living document. Sure, we should always challenge things like the Constitution. And
the Supreme Court we have today is different than the Supreme Court 90 years ago.
But the tactic is interesting, isn't it? So, in other words, when Democrats started out in the legislature, they talked about an emergency. This is an emergency bill. And then they, according to the AG's office, they had to back off of that. And now they're talking about initiatives So we're talking back to voting again. The idea of this will be an initiative at some point. But I wonder if you guys have thought about this. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the morning. What comes first, the initiative or the Supreme Court case that we all expect will happen in this case? Maybe this is a question for Rob McKenna, because if you talk initiative, but the Supreme Court then for some reason overturns this 1933 ruling that preserves the notion that keeps the law
property.
Yeah. Does an initiative matter if the court overturns and the initiative came after? It wouldn't really matter.
It's a good question.
Well, they got more than one iron in the fire to try to make sure this doesn't happen to the citizens of Washington. Those are opposed to the law.
But Peterson's being very open about that. But on the other hand, theories of smoke screens. It's two very interesting tactics and strategies.
This is how we should be cynical about all of our politicians like this. This is what they're all constantly doing. They're all constantly saying, "Hey, look over here while we do this thing over here."
No, you're not wrong.
Is this not how they all operate?
Not all of them.
All of them. Name one who doesn't.
Jamie Peterson. I'm telling you, he's telling you this is what I'm doing.
He's owning it.
No, he came on the show with us and he said, no, he was.
I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying that they're two different tactics.
Well, he genuinely thinks that an election, if it's put before the people, they'll vote for it to tax the rich. He genuinely believes that. There are Democratic strategists telling him that if you get this before the Supreme Court, they'll change the Constitution. I mean, I said this months ago. Yeah. They want this fight.
Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's right. I don't know.
Let's ask A.G. McKenna about it.
Yeah,
Former A.G. McKenna.
I'm looking forward to it.
He's going to be on with us at 2 o'clock. Luke Ducey, thank you
Thanks
for coming
for having me again. Love
Appreciate
being
it. Love having you on. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. With summer right around the corner and all that beautiful weather coming, Valentine Roofing schedule, it's filling up fast. I'm going to give you 3 reasons that you should pick up the phone and call Valentine today. Number 1, there's still time to beat the summer rush. You can get your roof started in as little as 3 weeks. Number 2, when the nice weather hits, you'll be enjoying your backyard instead of worrying about your roof. And 3, with the increased cost of crude oil, materials going up, shipping prices going up, you can lock in your price now before the market absorbs all of those price increases. So call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there's not going to be any surprises, just a clear estimate that you can trust. And once you choose Valentine Roofing, you can also expect seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. That's the Valentine experience, and that's the reason they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. Call 206 Roofing today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagayach has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
I just can't dig it. Dig what? My water line. Needs replacing? And I don't want digging in my yard. And maybe your driveway. Can't dig it. Don't dig it. But how do you? Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard. You're Dan. From the Ready Right Now plumbers. Apollo Plumbing. Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines. Without digging up my yard? 2 little holes is all it takes. Sounds better. Faster, too. And my yard? Like we were never there. Sounds spendy. Not so much. Oh? In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want. How do you figure? Think about that landscaping you love. Yeah? Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it. Or my driveway. We run everything underground. Trenchless? Do them all the time. How about... Easy payments? Yeah. With approved credit. Sure thing. When can you get started? We are the Ready Right Now plumbers. Love that. Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement. Sewer lines, too. Can you dig that? That I can. ApolloPlumbing.com.
We're facing an uncertain time when support for nonprofits is in danger. Now is the time to show up for them. Whether you give a little or a lot, every donation creates big change. Donate to nonprofits during Give Big on May 5th at waggives.org. It's up to us.
On May 2nd, the Mariners are retiring Randy Johnson's number 51. Be on hand for the special pregame ceremony presented by T-Mobile, honoring the legendary Big Unit as his number is immortalized at T-Mobile Park. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello, and new this hour, Washington's governor and attorney general are suing the private company that runs the Northwest Ice Processing Center in Tacoma. AG Nick Brown says they are asking a judge to order the facility to let state health inspectors inside.
Enough is enough. People are being harmed in this facility, and inaction is no longer acceptable.
Now, according to Brown's office, inspectors say they've been turned away 10 times despite more than 3,500 complaints alleging unsafe food, medical neglect, and unsanitary conditions. We have reached out to the GEO Group. That's the company that runs the jail for comments. A warning for drivers in Redmond thanks to new school zone speed cameras that are on a trial run as of today.
Redmond police say that the point of the trial period is to warn drivers the cameras are there and they're watching for speeders. You'll see them in front of Redmond Middle and High School and Rose Hill Middle School as well. These cameras will be active 30 minutes before school starts and after school until 5 p.m. on school days.
And KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin says the cameras will issue citations starting June 12th, fines ranging from $110 to $250. At the closing bell report, Starbucks says business is improving and expects a stronger year ahead. The Seattle-based coffee chain just reported higher profits as more customers visited its stores for a second straight quarter. CEO Brian Nickel.
Q2 marked a milestone for the business. We delivered growth on both the top and bottom line for the first time in more than 2 years.
And Starbucks revenue rose nearly 9% to $9.5 billion. Shares of Starbucks are nearly 5% higher in after-hours trading. For the first time, Alaska Airlines is taking passengers on a non-stop flight from Seattle to Rome. The inaugural Dreamliner flight leaves the gate at 5:30 tonight. After a mini celebration, those passengers will get some fresh cannoli and gelato before they take off. At the close today on Wall Street, the Dow dropped 25 points, S&P down 35, and NASDAQ closed down 223 as AI fears returning. Some big tech earnings are expected for tomorrow, including Amazon and Microsoft. To your real-time traffic desk now at 1:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Not a lot going on out there, Aaron. In fact, in Kirkland, we cleared our earlier crash, South 405 and Northeast 85th, and that backup is already cleared out. Here in Seattle, South 5, it's stop and go from 520 in the downtown, just brief backups there. North 5, however, is starting to fill in. We're heavy from the Michigan curve just just past I-90, and then you'll jam up approaching 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. And out toward Bremerton, and that earlier backup on southbound 3 approaching Sinclair Inlet has cleared out as well. The rest of this map looking great. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
We will stay cloudy for this afternoon. Some morning fog in certain spots tomorrow, then afternoon sunshine. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, we're going to have former Attorney General Rob McKenna on with us in just about 30 minutes, so tune back in for that. It's going to be very entertaining, and we got some good questions for him about all this AG stuff. Should the AG be working with lawmakers on the new income tax that's happening or soon to happen in Washington State? But we will ask McKenna about all of that in just a little bit. And don't tune back in. Just stay tuned. You don't need to leave. Don't go anywhere else. We're right here, right now. You want to talk about this Kimmel stuff a little bit, Spike?
It's getting legs.
It's getting legs. Man, this feels like a year ago, but this was just yesterday? Was this just yesterday we were talking about this? Is that possible?
Well, yes, because yesterday the story broke that the First Lady and the President both took issue with a pretty tasteless joke made by Jimmy Kimmel on Thursday night.
But this is prior to the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Prior to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah, prior to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Made a joke. And the joke was, excuse me, joke was in poor taste.
Here's the joke.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
So that was a joke?
Yeah. And then, of course, the First Lady came out and called for his, the network should do something about this. He's divisive. He spreads hate. President Trump came out with a post saying he should lose his job. Today it's announced that the FCC is going to move up a license review of Disney, the parent company that runs the networks that carry Jimmy Kimmel. They have a case about reviewing
DEI stuff, right?
Well, yeah, because they say it's not about the monologue from last week.
Yeah.
It's about their hiring practices with regard to DEI. And it was a scheduled review, but they're moving it up.
This is something that started a while back. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with the president's DEI
initiatives. You got to say, hey, the timing is interesting. Yeah,
timing's interesting.
I hear you.
Well, when the president calls for people to be fired for free speech, and because they're framing it as violence, that's the issue here. Was his joke a call for violence against the president? Was it, as it's being framed by the White House, by the press secretary, by all these folks, as a call for violence against the president? Kimmel defends it, saying, look, it's an age joke. The guy's almost 80. He's saying the guy's almost 80. She's younger than I am.
Should we have Kimmel explain it? Then we can discuss whether or not we people have feelings on it, but let's have Kimmel explain it.
It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence in particular, but I understand that the First Lady had a stressful experience over the weekend, and probably every weekend is pretty stressful in that house. And also, I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it, because, by the way...
Do you think he says that by any stretch of the imagination that nobody would jump to the conclusion? I mean, I'll be honest. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was an age-related joke.
You thought it was a assassination joke?
I didn't think it was saying you should assassinate somebody. I think it was saying this guy, two people have already made attempts on his life.
Okay.
Given the history of the assassination attempts against the president.
That's reasonable.
The timing was unfortunate for the Kimmel people because it was then 2 days later. But given the history that Donald Trump has been the target of multiple assassination attempts, to make a joke that his wife is soon to be a widow, I feel like that's the natural place to first jump to as the reason that she would be a widow. I wouldn't necessarily say it's an age-related thing.
Fair.
That's where my head goes.
Well, and that's a fair assessment a fair interpretation of the
If
joke.
I was in the writers' room, I would have said, "Hey, you know what? Let's pump the brakes on this."
We said this yesterday. How did the management at ABC, do they not have governance over what goes on their air? Does he have to clear his monologue through a censor? Or a network board or somebody?
I'm sure there's some some person who reads things, but I mean, whatever. It's not his first time in the spotlight for a controversial take on the news.
Well, the thing is, for the Trump administration to frame it as a call for violence is the worst possible interpretation of the joke. He's using the most favorable interpretation of the joke by his perspective. Both have as much valid opportunity to be right. But, now they're talking about looking at their license and they're calling for him to be fired. It's not the first time they've done that. I think it's a coincidence in timing today that they're indicting James Comey.
What do you think the joke was about? If you just heard the joke,
that what did you
think the joke was?
She's miserable being married to him, and she looks forward to the day that she's not.
There's no part of your brain that went like, oh man, this woman nearly was a widow twice when people tried to assassinate her husband. That didn't cross your mind?
I didn't make that leap to assassination, and I'm not saying that it's unreasonable to make that leap. I'm not saying it's not.
No, I'm just interested in where somebody's brain goes.
Well, then we get to the other part of his defense of the joke, because he didn't apologize. Now it's like he didn't apologize. He doubled down. White House spokesperson, that Stephen Chung is his name.
I don't know.
He just eviscerated him on a social media post with Kimmel. He said the guy
lost a guest too. There was somebody who was supposed to be on the show tonight. Or last
decided
night,
not to come on?
And I think it was the guy who hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner, wasn't it?
The
Mentalist.
Oz Perlman was supposed to come on.
Wasn't he supposed to be on the show? And then he pulled out and he said, I don't want to be on the show right now.
I haven't seen that yet, but it would make sense.
I mean, it's kind of a controversial show to be on.
Yeah,
Kimmel,
at this moment, sure.
At this moment.
Well, they just indicted James Comey again for that. The picture he had of the seashells, the 86-47 seashell thing. Mm-hmm. That happened a while back, and it came and it went. But now they're re-indicting him for a threat against the president. They're saying that his post of a seashell arrangement that says 86-47 is being interpreted by this Department of Justice as a threat against the life of the president. I mean, you gotta bend a few spoons to get that interpretation.
I can't speak to what Comey's thinking.
Yeah, well,
he's very tall. It's tough for me to get up to that brain.
I don't think they can either. To say that that's a call to violence and that's what they're charging him with. They're indicting him with.
It's interesting. Would you post something like that?
Yeah, probably.
You would? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I got bad judgment. I'm not saying it's the right thing to post.
If you were if you were the former head of the FBI, would you post something like that?
I don't see yes, because I don't see 86 as a call to violence.
What does it mean?
It means that something's been taken off a menu. I worked in the restaurant industry.
Oh, okay.
The 86 something is to take it off the menu.
Take it off the menu.
Yeah, we're 86 in tuna. We're out of tuna. To 86 of soup.
Gotcha. Okay.
So to say it's in a call for violence that's a bit of a stretch.
Should we play this George Clooney defense of Kimmel? See what he has to say about it?
Sure.
Jimmy's a comedian, and I would argue that Caroline Leavitt didn't mean shots should be fired, right? She was making a joke. Fair enough. So I look at that side and go, well, jokes are jokes, but the rhetoric, I think, is a little dangerous, and we've seen it a lot lately.
It seems like on Saturday.
Who's rhetoric? Who's he talking about here?
I think all sides. When you call
all of rhetoric.
When you call the president a threat to democracy, when you say he's got fascistic tendencies, he's fascist, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
When Trump says that the enemy, the press is the enemy of the people.
Nasty things.
When the president says Democrats hate this country, those are all too much.
There was an opportunity for a moment of unity between the press and the current administration. Do you have faith that might happen in the next couple of years?
I always have faith in the press. I always believe in it. I'm the son of a journalist, I believe
I've played one in a movie, he says.
I also think that you're not supposed to have a good relationship with government. You're supposed to be questioning them. The people that I support, right, the Democrats. I'm a Democrat. I make no apologies for it. The people that I support, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, they didn't enjoy.
You notice how he didn't say Biden?
Enjoy getting, chased down by reporters. People in power don't like to have to answer all the questions in the world. That's fair. They shouldn't enjoy it, and the reporters should make sure that they hold people's feet to the fire. That's the rules. That's what Jefferson talked about in 1787. We need to be able to have a free and fair press.
We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah. It's important. Everybody should be cynical of our political leaders, and we should all be asking these questions.
Call it the fourth estate for a reason.
Somebody like Clooney,
It's interesting that he didn't mention Biden.
Well,
don't you think? I mean,
still too fresh. The wounds are too fresh. Wounds are too fresh.
Since he ended that guy's political career. Very interesting. All right, we got a lot more coming up. It's a very interesting topic. You guys let us know how you feel about it. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Text line 888-973-5476. There are a lot of thoughts on these. We'd love to hear all of them, so let us know. When we come back, should we do this Taylor Swift thing? This is really interesting.
You know what? This is a huge story because this lady she's on the cutting edge of art, of rights, of ownership.
All this stuff.
Because we're entering a brave new world, and we've got a rocket ship we're strapped to.
World of AI. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back with that. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
When was the last time someone reviewed your tax return looking for opportunity, not just accuracy? For most people, a tax return is something you file and forget. But what if it's actually a snapshot of decisions made, opportunities missed, and strategies waiting to be uncovered? At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your return isn't just paperwork, it's a roadmap. Brian Evans, CEO and host of Growing Your Wealth, is hosting a live workshop called Your Tax Return Treasure Hunt. In this interactive seminar, he'll walk you through the major schedules of your return, helping you identify missed planning opportunities and disconnects between your tax return and your long-term financial goals. Because your return already tells a story. To reserve your seat, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to listen to Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com. Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Amazon Business with smart business buying. Innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now. But when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. This was an interesting story. I saw the CBS News posted about this. Taylor Swift, who is a singer, in case anybody has never heard the name before. No, obviously, she's very well known.
She's listed by New York Times as one of the 30 greatest songwriters of our time. Of all time, excuse me.
She's very, very successful.
Very brilliant, and a brilliant songwriter.
Yes, yes. She's very good. I got to be honest, I don't know a ton of her catalog.
Okay.
But I will say that she's probably the most successful female artist in the world today.
Fair to say.
Is that
sure.
Is that inaccurate?
No. Fair to say.
She's also dating what's his face, and that's kind of cool.
Chief, who cares? Travis Kelce, yeah.
Yeah. Who used to be better, but still is
we
he
all
still playing?
have our day.
He signed another deal, didn't he?
I think he did sign a deal to go back to the Chiefs. There was some question about is he going to become just a house husband?
Is he just going to become even wealthier
arm candy,
after
boy
football
toy,
and all the other stuff that he and his brother do? They're very funny, by the way. He and his brother.
Oh, they're great. The Kelce brothers
Travis
are great.
and Jason.
Yeah, they're wonderful guys.
Good beards.
Yep.
All right, so Taylor Swift has filed a trademark, apparently, for her. It's kind of like the NIL deal for college athletes, but this is for superstars. It's for her voice and likeness.
Her voice and likeness because of the onset of AI.
Yeah.
And
which can now copy everything and just looks instantly real. And
the latest iterations of image creators, because you play with these all the time.
All the time.
What you made months ago looks like a cave drawing compared to just
and what we made months ago looked pretty good.
Looked pretty great. Now you won't be able to tell the difference. Deep fakes are coming, and Taylor Swift is protecting her image and her voice so that she can't be used in advertising or to create recreations of her product, her performances, her material.
Which makes sense. I'm surprised that she's just doing it now. I'm surprised that she didn't already have like 1,000, trademarks set up.
I'm sure she did with regard to other people using her work. You remember that her label, her catalog, got bought by her. I think it was her manager or somebody, an executive, record executive. She didn't own her own stuff, so Scooter
Braun.
She had to re-record. I think that's right. Had to re-record all of her catalog because she didn't own it anymore.
Yeah.
And now she's looking forward, thinking she's a brilliant businesswoman, made billions of dollars on that world tour, Eras tour.
Yeah,
billions.
Isn't it like one of the most successful
of all time? And then there was a movie theater that sold out every show. I mean,
yeah.
And so she's forward thinking, say, look, AI's going places. I want to make sure that I protect what I've created and my image and my likeness and my material in the future.
I think it's just going to be a thing that everybody has to do in the future.
Yeah.
And then the question is like, how do you tell it's not going to stop things from going up online. What it'll probably end up happening is it won't be able to be shared. You could then sue, like let's say that on Instagram or X or whoever posts it, somebody posts a link to a video that's not really Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck tracking that person down and for them having any meaningful amount of money to sue.
To go after,
to penalize.
Exactly.
So you just go after the company that hosted it on the site.
And
I don't know how those lawsuits pan out, or how those are done.
There have been some recent lawsuits.
Or if that just guarantees that it gets taken down quickly.
Yeah. There have been cases, the LA case with Facebook, that they were responsible for what their users posted. They didn't have just blanket immunity. Yeah. They could host whatever they wanted to host and be free from any consequence or responsibility of it.
In that case, though, that was child abuse stuff.
That was child abuse stuff, but as you have these AI...
a video of a fake Taylor Swift singing, obviously wouldn't have the same...
I don't know. I read it's not as impactful as someone's safety or well-being, but someone's livelihood. I mean, we can't all be Taylor Swift with billions that we can afford to lose a few dollars. If you create something, I mean, it's these AI companies, and all the big companies are getting into AI.
Everything.
They're everybody, whether it's Google or it's Meta or it's whomever, they're all.
Did you see that company who recently was having to slow down in business? They were a shoe company. Did you see this?
Oh, they made tennis shoes.
They made tennis shoes. Bird, I think it was.
Right, yeah.
Birds, something.
Yeah, well, they
and the company was about to go under, and so they transitioned. They said, we're going to take out a loan or something, and we're going to buy up a bunch of computers, and we're going to turn ourselves into
we're going to become an AI company.
AI company.
We're going to seek investors, and they became billionaires.
And it worked. And then their stock price shot
up. Making shoes? Nah, there's no money in shoes. No, we're an AI company.
Shoes to an AI company is just, it feels like a bubble. It feels like a .com bubble scenario where everything is AI now.
Yeah. Well,
that can't be the case.
It can't be. But so here's where Taylor Swift's story folds into your life at home. Because these companies that make AI, they have to be regulated, right? There's got to be laws in place. That's why she's filing this copyright, this trademark. There's got to be laws to protect her. So the government has to tell AI what it can and can't do, right? That's why we have laws, and that's how they're enforced with different companies reach into our lives. So these companies are huge donators to the government, huge benefactors. And the government gets to decide what they can and can't do to put up the guardrails for these huge corporations that are kind of taking over every aspect of who we are.
You obviously shouldn't be able to use somebody's likeness.
Yeah, but you have to have a law in place for that. I agree with you. It's obvious. But without a law in place, doesn't hold up in court.
Although that same rule should not apply to government officials.
How do you mean? What do you mean?
Because they're no longer private citizens. So it shouldn't apply. Like, let's say you want to, like in California, for instance.
The expectation of privacy?
If you want to post something in California, I think they tried to, if not even successfully, tried to get a law in the books where you couldn't post parody things about government officials because then it wasn't real. And it could, you could be sued for that.
Okay.
We should look into that because I'm just saying it. I'm not even sure of the full law.
But you're saying being a public elected figure, you lose that expectation of privacy?
Well, I think as an elected official, you open yourselves up to a little more...
Public scrutiny.
Scrutiny.
You want to live by the sword? You got to die by the sword. Yeah.
Nobody should die.
No. It's always, oh, boy, here we go.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA Home Loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
This is the story of Julie Guillot. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. While the treatment really attacked the cancer, unfortunately, it also attacked his body. Uncontrollable fevers, terrible nosebleeds, and his skin was burned from the inside out. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was founded 70 years ago by parents who also lost their child to cancer. Today, we're pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer.
We are so close to finding better treatments for kids with cancer. So it's too late to save Zach, but working together, we can save thousands of kids just like him.
Visit LLS.org and save a child's life.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagaich has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted again by the Justice Department. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the charges.
He knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Count 2, same day, May 15th, 2025, that the defendant, James Comey, knowingly and willfully transmitting in interstate commerce a communication.
The charges stem from an image Comey briefly shared to Instagram last year that showed seashells arranged in the sand to form the numbers 8647. Comey later said he didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence.
On Capitol Hill,
Mr. Speaker, Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla.
King Charles III addresses a joint session of Congress marking America's 250th anniversary and...
It is my hope, my prayer, that in these turbulent times, working together and with our international partners, we can stem the beating of plowshares into swords.
King Charles and Queen Camilla will continue their 4-day U.S. trip later this week with stops in New York City and Virginia. The FCC plans an early review of Disney's broadcast licenses for the ABC stations it owns. The review is part of the investigation initiated by FCC Chairman Brendan Carr into Disney's diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. More on the probe from CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
What he's saying is that if Disney were to have engaged in discrimination because of their DEI initiatives, that there is an argument to be made that they should not have these licenses, these broadcast licenses.
This move comes after President Trump demanded ABC fire Jimmy Kimmel for a joke he made about Melania Trump days before the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Amid the war with Iran, AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is now $4.18, the highest it has been since April of 2022. This driver in Boston says the prices are affecting his summer vacation plans.
I'm going to have to take less trips and stuff like that because it's getting ridiculous.
A Texas legislative panel is holding more hearings into the devastating flooding that killed 25 campers and 2 teenage counselors at an all-girls Christian camp last July 4th. Investigators say Camp Mystic did not have an evacuation plan. An emotional Camp Mystic director, Edward Eastland, says to the victims' families,
"We tried our hardest that night, and it wasn't enough to save your daughters. We were devastated alongside you."
This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Coming up, a gunman on the run after a shooting in White Center. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge at right lane is blocked from a disabled vehicle. This just created a bumper-to-bumper backup beginning near the north end of Boeing Field. But once you clear this, we've got more scattered backups up to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's going to take you 25 minutes to get through downtown Seattle. Now, you can save some time by hopping over to Highway 99, which is wide open. South 5, we're filling in between 520 and 990. Still less than 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Out in Monroe, maintenance work has both directions of Highway 2 backed up approaching French Creek, which is kind of right in the middle of Frylands Boulevard and Roosevelt Road. We have our afternoon shift change underway at our Everett Boeing plant, sending heavy volumes to eastbound 526, Bellevue to Renton under 20 minutes, Tacoma to Olympia a half hour, and the Point Defiance Terminal reporting a 1 hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle Police and King County deputies are searching for a gunman following a shooting in the White Center area this morning. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with details.
Seattle police say the shooting happened in an alleyway along Southwest Barton between 17th and 18th Avenues Southwest. There is an encampment about halfway down the alley there, and that's where the shooting happened. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Adult male shot once in the back. Right now, that person is in serious condition. We have King County out here assisting with their drone to try to locate the suspect.
The suspect is still at large. Police say they have no motive for the shooting. In White Center, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Community members packed Seattle City Hall today demanding action on open-air drug use. Seattle's Public Safety Committee Chair Bob Kettle says there are problems with the city's drug possession ordinance, which is meant to prioritize treatment and diversion.
The ordinance, in my view, has been a failure in itself, but also in its implementation.
And at today's meeting, we learned drug arrests in Seattle surged 47% last year, but treatment diversions fell 30%. A 22-year-old man is being held on $750,000 bail in the attempted kidnapping of a little girl in West Seattle. Court documents show the man tried to grab an 8-year-old girl as she was playing with friends in a driveway on Saturday. This happened near California Avenue in Southwest Othello. The girl screamed, neighbors stepped in, the man left the area. He was later arrested and has not yet been charged. Big decision for Tacoma voters during today's special election. They will take a look at a proposed $155 million park improvement package. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha has more.
One of the major selling points for Tacoma Parks is the proposition would not raise taxes. Now, I reported on one of the projects which would redesign and improve Dash Point Pier. It's been closed because of safety concerns. Now, some of the other projects, at least 5 sports fields will be renovated.
And if approved, parkgoers would start to see improvements taking place over the next 6 to 8 years. To your weather update now, cloudy skies this afternoon and then some sunshine for tomorrow. We start to really warm up as the week goes on. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Best 3 hours in radio. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. If you guys want to get in on any of these conversations, you can text us, of course, at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. You can watch us on YouTube. You can get the podcast, all that stuff. Did I miss anything? Is that
I think you got it. Yeah.
That's it. That's all the stuff we got.
Got the app in, right? Mention the app.
Got the app, KIRO Radio app.
Waiting for you.
Social media.
Yep.
Easy stuff. All right. We're very excited to welcome to the show, great guest to the show, all-around great guy. Former Attorney General Rob McKenna joins us now. Mr. McKenna, thank you so much for coming on.
It's always great to be with you guys. Thank you so much.
We are so happy to have you. We got in a conversation earlier on the show. We were talking about current Attorney General Nick Brown's response to a bunch of it wasn't a document dump because I think it was a FOIA request, but it was a bunch of emails that the Center Square had gotten their hands on and then had written a piece about the Attorney General's office connection to the language and shaping of the millionaire's tax, Jamie Peterson's millionaire's tax, which is an income tax on all Washingtonians. And Attorney General Nick Brown said, well, this is just like a totally normal part of the process. He spoke about that. I think this was just yesterday or the day before. Let me play you this clip, and then I'd love to get your response to this, because I saw a post from you today that called into question what Brown was saying. But we can get to all that in a second. Let me play this clip from Attorney General Nick Brown.
It's very common for AG's offices to advise their clients on the law, the status of cases, analyzing prior Supreme Court decisions. It is something that we do on a regular basis. It is something that all of my predecessors have done. So yes, I think it's pretty common and appropriate.
All right, so that's what he had to say about it, and we would love to get your take on this. Rob McKenna is a former Attorney General, and full disclosure for people, you're part of the legal team who's actually fighting this bill as unconstitutional in court. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, right. Former Supreme Court Justice Phil Talmadge and I have teamed up. We teamed up to overturn the Seattle City income tax about 5 years ago. Now we've teamed up to challenge the constitutionality of this new income tax. And, Phil's a Democrat. I'm a Republican. Phil supports a state income tax as a general matter, as part of comprehensive tax reform. I don't think an income tax is a good idea, but Phil points out if we're going to have an income tax that doesn't follow the rules for property taxes, we have to amend the Constitution to do it. And that's what every legislature before this year recognized. They 6 times in our state's history since the Constitution was amended to extend the property tax to income, the legislature said, well, we want more than a property tax level of income tax. 6 times they've sent constitutional amendments to the ballot to let the voters have the opportunity to exclude income from the definition of property, which would allow graduated income taxes. And 6 times the voters have said no, by big margins. The last time there was a constitutional amendment to do that on the ballot, the voters turned it down 77 to 23%. And there have been 4 initiatives as well that would have created income taxes. Those have all been defeated. Now, in terms of what General Brown said about, we frequently advise the legislature, and my predecessor AG has advised the legislature. That is true. However, a couple things. One, the legislature has its own lawyers.
That's what I was wondering. I asked Spike this earlier. I said,
hold up. I'm sorry. Rob, let me hear what you're saying. Say that again, Rob.
No. It's interesting, actually. Phil Talmadge brought this up in an interview we did yesterday, because he was a state senator before he was a Supreme Court justice. And he pointed out that the legislature has its own little army of lawyers. They're very talented. They're staff attorneys. They know what they're doing. They know a lot about legislation and statutes and the Constitution. Sometimes the legislature will ask for a second opinion or additional advice from the AG office, but I cannot recall, and Phil could not recall, a single instance in the state's history where the legislature or legislative leader went to the AG office and said, hey, how do I write this bill to get around the Constitution? And then they just actively advised them on that. To the contrary, we would go over to the legislature when we saw a bill being proposed that was constitutionally defective, and we would quietly tell them behind closed doors, hey, we just want you to know what you're about to do violates the Constitution. That's what we would do. But we never, saw our role to be to help them design legislation to overturn the Constitution.
Well, let me ask you this.
Ahead,
I understand what you're saying, Rob. Is if the intention of Jamie Peterson is to have the Constitution changed and get something before the Supreme Court, is there anything untoward or illegal of that?
Well, yes. First, remember that every legislator, just like every attorney general and every governor, takes an oath to uphold and defend the laws and Constitution of the state of Washington. Our Constitution has been interpreted multiple times by the Supreme Court over many decades to hold that income is within the definition of property, because our Constitution was amended by the voters to expand the definition of property to include every form of intangible property. And income, of course, is a form of intangible property. So they took an oath, which they then decided to violate by passing a bill which clearly, violates established law as ruled by the Supreme Court multiple times. So they did, they're trying to create a test case. And and hoping that the Supreme Court will do the job for them, a job they declined to do. Because, as I said, all the other times the legislature decided it wanted a progressive income tax, it sent a proposed constitutional amendment to the voters, let them decide. This legislature is working, has worked hard to keep this issue away from the voters. They could have hung a referendum clause on it, sent it to the voters, say, what do you think? Do you approve of this? They didn't do it. They included language in the bill that prevents the bill, they think, from being subject to a referendum vote. That's being challenged in a separate lawsuit that I'm not involved with. But they clearly don't want the voters to have their say. And maybe that's because, the voters have had a chance to approve an income tax 10 times, and 10 times in a row they've said no.
Let me ask you this. Again, we're talking to former Attorney General Ron McKenna. There are a lot of people who think that if this does go to the voters, that this is going to be passed and that the voters want an income tax. They just need the opportunity to vote on it. Now, I would say all of the evidence to the contrary, given how they have voted in the past, but there are people who think that, people really want an income tax.
Well, since it's being targeted at just millionaires.
Yes,
but that's their hope. I'm not saying it's valid, but that is their hope, right?
I know why I think you're laughing, and I agree with you. But why are you laughing at that notion, Attorney General Ron McKenna, former Attorney General?
Well, they've come up with this. They've come up with this marketing gimmick, right? They call it the millionaire's tax. There's no income tax in our country's history that has been adopted and only applied to the richest people. In 1913, when the federal income tax was first enacted, the rate was 7%, and it only applied to people who made $500,000 or more per year, which was very few people in 1913. And of course, by the 1920s, it had extended to reach basically everybody. And that's true of state income taxes also. You look at California and other states with income taxes, Oregon, other near neighbors, they don't limit them to millionaires. And when you look at the state's budget situation, the fact that they increased spending in the current biennium, I'm told, by about 15%, with about 4% additional revenues, from existing taxes, you begin to see the problem. There's no way they're not going to expand this tax to reach everybody. But regardless of that policy argument, it's really important to understand that this lawsuit that we brought to overturn this income tax and uphold the Constitution is not just about a millionaire's tax or this particular bill. This test case, which the legislature has succeeded in creating, is about their ability to create any income tax that they want. This is, in other words, when we go to court, if the court upholds this new law, which I don't think they will because it's blatantly unconstitutional, but if they did, it wouldn't just be upholding a millionaire's tax. It would open the door to any income tax the state wants, and it would open the door to allow cities and counties to pass income taxes as well, because we no longer have a statute in this state that prohibits city and county income taxes. We used to have one, and in the Seattle income tax case, some interveners came in and they challenged it and they got it thrown out on technical grounds. So there's no longer a law preventing city and county income taxes. So this is not a test case for millionaire's tax. This is a test case for an income tax, period, and whether we're going to reimagine our Constitution to not count income as a form of intangible property.
Do you think there has been a lot of reaction? Obviously, it's kind of it's a story that people are talking about when Nick Brown says, that's just wrong. This is not at all what we're doing. This is like all above board. This happens all the time. Do you think people have a genuine gripe in feeling like the Attorney General represents the people and should not be working behind closed doors with legislators on a bill that ends up penalizing the people in the form of an income tax that's maybe unconstitutional? Right. Doesn't it feel like my feeling when I saw that was I was like, well, wait a minute, who elected this guy? Like, who does he work for? Am I wrong in feeling that way?
No, you're not wrong, because the Attorney General was created. That position was created as an independent elected position in the Constitution, in our original Constitution, and under the idea of checks and balances, separation of powers. The Attorney General is part of the executive branch, and the duty of the executive branch is to uphold the Constitution and the laws and to execute those laws, but not to actively undermine them. And I think people are just really bothered by the idea that the Attorney General allowed his staff to actively collaborate with legislative leaders to design a bill that they hope will cause the Supreme Court to, just reinterpret the Constitution in a way that no court ever has. And look, if the Attorney General is not going to defend the Constitution in these circumstances, who is? When that city, and this is not the first time, by the way, when that city and county income tax prohibition was challenged in court, I think that statute dates all the way back to 1984. But in the Seattle income tax case, when one of the interveners came in and said, because we'd cited that, right? That's one of the reasons Seattle couldn't have an income tax. But they came and said, that bill, that's technically, it's unconstitutional. Ironically, they said it was unconstitutional because that bill had many subjects contained in it, not just the prohibition on city and county income taxes. Where was the AG? We notified the AG that the constitutionality of this statute was being challenged, and they declined to come in and defend it. So there is now a track record developing under the prior AG and now the current AG of saying, we're just giving legal advice. We're not really taking a position here. That's just not what the job of the Attorney General is. If the Attorney General doesn't defend the Constitution in the first instance, who will?
Rob, so but putting aside whether it's good policy or bad policy to tax the citizens of Washington, because that's really not, that's a question for voters, and they, as you mentioned, put it to the voters. They vote numerous times. But if the legislature says, look, we feel this is a financial emergency, and we want to get this, we need a test case because we feel this financial path that we're on without income tax, the state's going to come into crisis. We want to get a law passed that we would like to see go as a test case. Is it inappropriate for the Attorney General to say this is what you can and can't do? Not whether you should or shouldn't, but what you can or can't do in the form of making this law.
Yeah, I think the Attorney General can explain what the law is, but it's not the Attorney General's job to counsel the legislature on how they can get around that law, which is the way these emails read. This is not routine legal advice that they were giving. I mean, you even had an email to the legislature saying, don't forget to put an emergency clause in this bill so that the voters don't get to vote on it.
Now, that came from the Attorney General's office and not a legislator?
Yeah. No, that advice came from an email from the Solicitor General, who's in the Attorney General's office, to a legislator. That's one of the emails that came out in that public records request. So that goes well beyond just explaining to them what their options are to actively counseling them. And I don't think voters feel very good about that. But you're in terms of the financial situation that the state's in. Remember, when Chris Gorgar and I both left office in January of 2013, the state budget was $32 billion per biennium. So that was the 2-year budget. It's now over $80 billion per biennium, which is a huge increase. I think it's like 124%, something like that.
You can't see this, Rob, but Spike is rubbing his eyes out of frustration.
No, I voted for you, bud. Yeah. I tried to stop this from happening. I know I'm a Democrat in this state, and I know we've running unchecked as we have for the last 15 years. The state went from being one of the best states in America to do business to one of the worst states in America to do business.
Absolutely.
And now that we're chasing businesses away.
Yeah, and Spike, it's really important, and I know you guys know this, but it's not about helping businesses. It's about helping ourselves. I mean, look at the fact that we have the 3rd highest per capita GDP in America in Washington State. We're the 7th highest in personal income per capita. And that's because we have all these phenomenal companies that employ people at really high wages. And that's all at risk now. The governor's office told a friend of mine who's a Democrat who's concerned about this, well, New York has an income tax. California has an income tax. We can have an income tax. Yeah, well, we're not New York and we're not California. We're next to Oregon, and we've done a lot better than Oregon because we've had phenomenal entrepreneurs and other founders, companies come here and grow
fertile
here,
soil for
here.
them, up until right now.
Yeah, but that's had a direct impact on all of us in terms of the wealth that we have in this state and that we have individually. I think if you go down and look at the different levels of people based on their income, you'll find that even people at the lower levels are doing better than people are in, say, Oregon, right? Our wages are higher, et cetera. And we're also able to offer richer benefits to people as a result. It's because we're a wealthy state. And we're a wealthy state because we've had a number of competitive advantages, one of which is not having an income tax. We didn't used to have a capital gains tax. We got away with having a high estate tax, but then they temporarily bumped that up to 35%. But we're systematically dismantling our competitive advantages. And I think in the long run, that's one of the reasons that this tax is good. If the income tax is upheld, it's going to reach everybody because they're going to need the money, because the businesses are going to leave and some wealthier people are going to leave, and they're going to have to extend the tax in order to make up the revenue shortfalls that those departures produce.
Hey, Rob, I'm going to ask you to put your politician's hat on for just a moment. I know you've built a wonderful life and you deserve to just enjoy yourself. But when Washington created these great business opportunities, they're able to give tax breaks to companies to start and to do their business here. And we're seeing Tennessee do that now, luring Starbucks down there.
Right.
Is that just a phase states can only go through for so long? Why can't Washington offer those same type of incentives now for businesses to not leave? I mean, is that kind of a short-term boom thing that's always just runs its course?
I don't think it's short term. I mean, and I don't hear businesses asking for breaks. I hear them asking to not be hit with new and higher taxes, like the payroll tax in Seattle or the head tax, right? The increased B&O tax, which my wife is a small business owner, will point out to you, is a tax on all of her revenue, whether she's profitable or not. Every business has to pay that. We also have high sales taxes, high property taxes, et cetera, but we haven't had an income tax, which benefits pretty much everybody. And that is losing that advantage on top of having the capital gains tax enacted and increases in the B&O tax and proposed payroll taxes is what you said this a minute ago, but it's why we've fallen from one of the top states in the country as a place to do business down to being one of the last states on the list. And that's going to cost us all big time in the long run.
Well, former Attorney General Rob McKenna, who is part of this lawsuit, hopefully gets this income tax put aside, and hopefully he can fight it and it doesn't happen. Thank you so much for coming on and helping us make sense of this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you both. Take care, guys.
You too,
All right,
bud.
take care. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer is right around the corner. Procrastinators, beware. Valentine Roofing schedule, it's filling up now, and you don't want to wait and be stuck with the other guys. So call 206 Roofing today, and Valentine can still start your roof in as little as 3 weeks. Then you can enjoy barbecuing on your deck without worrying about shingles falling on your head. Call 206 Roofing. I guarantee there's not going to be any surprises, just a clear estimate that you can trust. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
If you're a homeowner looking to replace your comfort system, there's only one call you need to make. That's the Home Comfort Alliance, especially right now. As a Carrier Factory authorized dealer, they meet the highest standards for training, installation, and customer satisfaction. John Curley here. Efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance matter. Right now, when you upgrade to a Carrier cooling system, you get a heating system free. And they make it so easy with a 60-second price estimator. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com now. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Missing teeth or tired of dentures? South Seattle Smiles offers permanent dental implants to restore your smile. Ask about their discount cash pricing and get a free consultation. Call South Seattle Smiles or visit southseattlesmiles.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Hilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
A rising blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Washington's Attorney General is taking legal action against the company that runs the Northwest Ice Processing Center in Tacoma. AG Nick Brown says he's asking a judge to require it to admit state health inspectors.
State law puts reasonable health and safety standards on many facilities, including private detention facilities, and the state ensures that these facilities are healthy and safe through inspections.
Lawsuit follows 10 denied inspections and more than 3,500 complaints from detainees. Company that runs the facility has referred our questions to ICE. A sheriff's deputy in Stevens County was shot this morning. KIRO Radio's Frank Lindsay has the updates.
It happened while the deputy was responding to a burglary call at a home near Suncrest. That's about 30 minutes northwest of Spokane. The Spokesman Review reports the sheriff visited the wounded deputy in the hospital, and he is expected to recover. According to KXLY-TV, the suspect barricaded himself in that home for hours and exchanged gunfire with deputies. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Not clear yet if that suspect was wounded or what their condition is. Starbucks stock jumped in after-hours trading after the coffee giant posted strong second quarter earnings. Revenue hit $9.5 billion. That's up 9%. And CEO Brian Nichols says they're seeing more customers inside stores, marking a second straight quarter of traffic growth.
Our Back to Starbucks strategy is working because we're executing with rigor and focus, and the outcomes are showing up in real and visible ways.
The company raised its financial outlook for the rest of this year. FCC says it's launching an early review of Disney's ABC television licenses. CBS's Kimmy McCormick explains.
The early license review comes after an FCC probe that was launched last March into Disney's DEI initiatives. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr on the Katie Miller podcast.
There's evidence suggesting that Disney, literally was, dividing and categorizing employees based on race and gender, and potentially, we'll see what the evidence establishes, ultimately giving different opportunities to people based on their race or gender or other protected class.
The review comes a day after President Trump called for late-night host Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. His show is broadcast on Disney's ABC.
And that takes us to 2:32. We have Nate Connors now at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge, still dealing with a closure of the right lane for a disabled vehicle. This is right in the middle of scattered backups starting at Albro Place all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's a 25-minute trip to clear all this, but once you do, it's all clear all the way into Everett. Once you get into Everett, North 5, crowded from 526 up to Highway 2. Bellevue to Everett is also wide open. South 5 heading into Seattle, pretty thick now at 520 down to I-90. Out of Monroe, both directions of Highway 2 are bumper to bumper approaching French Creek, where we have maintenance work underway. This is near milepost 11. South 405 is packed heading through Factoria around Coal Creek Parkway. Things thin out a bit for you. Bellevue to Renton, 20 minutes. And southbound 167 getting heavy between Algona and Sumner. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Cloudy day for this afternoon. Tomorrow, though, we'll see the sunshine return. Temperatures starting to climb back up. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much to former AG Rob McKenna for coming on with us last segment. He's a great guy.
He is.
He's insightful.
Yep.
He's an eye-opener. He confirms things that I thought already, which I like. So we should talk about some other stuff now. People should go back and watch the YouTube page.
Good call.
If you haven't watched it yet, you should be on our YouTube page and watching the show. Send it to a friend. Share it with them. Tell them to do the same. Did you see this story? This one hits close to home. Actually, I think this is a really great idea. Jonathan Haidt, he's a author. He is he's deeply involved in the movement to get kids off of screens.
Oh,
he wrote a book called, I think it's called The Anxious Generation. It's very, very good. And basically, what he details is how starting back in the early 2000s. With that little invention of a smartphone that goes in everybody's pocket. Once kids had that in their pocket and social media, perfect storm. And anxiety rates went through the roof, depression, all these things went, self-image, negative self-image, everything just went crazy.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they have this little confirmation machine that tells you all these different things, and kids are, young kids need positive support from people who love them, and they don't need negative things from negative people online doing crazy things.
It's not just the social. I mean, you're right about everything you just said. The intrusion of the outside world into a kid who's not ready for the outside world yet.
Competing with people you're never going to meet looks.
You used to have to be the most popular kid in class or liked by your classmates or on the playground. Now the kids these days have to be liked by the entire planet. And people snipe in to say horrible things.
Horrible.
It's a sport for these people. Trolling is a sport. Now couple that with the fact that education has tabletized. Is that right?
Education has all these tablets, and in Washington State, for instance, we don't have rules saying that if you're a young person, you can't be using your phones around schools.
There was a phone screen report card. I'm butchering the name of it. But it was literally how states rule against kids using screens and phones specifically in school during school time. Washington came in third from the bottom.
Why? That's a curious one to me. Why would Washington sit that one out? Why wouldn't they take more of a progressive approach to say, hey, you know what? I don't think there's a single person listening who has a smartphone who doesn't think to themselves, this is not good in the hands of a child. This is not a good thing.
From what I've heard of Washington's policy decisions with regarding screen time and phone use in schools, they want to leave it by a school district by school district by school district decision instead of having an umbrella uniform policy for the state of Washington. A lot of states.
Well, wouldn't it be nice to provide some guidance and say, hey, we can recognize that these are not good for kids.
I agree with you.
And school districts should not be encouraging kids by allowing them to have these. Think of all the things that you loved about high school, like when you were in school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine walking through school with a phone all the time. Are any of those things going to happen?
None of them.
None of them.
Nope. All the awkward moments, the hard lessons you had to learn, the uncomfortableness.
Yes.
All avoided by a screen that's going to just reaffirm everything you want to hear.
Friendships avoided.
Yep.
Getting into trouble avoided. having things go right avoided.
There are people that they won't allow on the school grounds for good reason. That person comes in on a phone. That
Easily.
person gets through the social media,
Yeah,
internet.
they can do everything
Anybody
they
in the
want.
world can get access to your kid.
So there's a school district in Texas. Actually, all school districts in Texas, they now have a statewide ban. For 1 year, they have a statewide ban. They've had it in place. And what they have noticed, and this is for cell phones, and I'm going to apply this in just a second to what I think they should be doing also with computer screens. But for cell phones, they ban them from school on campus. You cannot use them. You can have them, they're not going to stop you from having a phone, but you can't take it out. It's not usable. If you want to, because the argument for a lot of parents is like, well, what if emergency happens? I want to get to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to stop your kid from having a phone, but you cannot have a phone out and using it. Like in Washington State, you can just walk around campus looking at your phone in between classes.
Yeah, but they limit it to hallway time and lunchtime.
Yeah. So they said that book circulation went up 25% because kids said, you know what, I'm not allowed to stare at my phone in school, and I got to look at something, so I might as well read a book, which is great.
Right? I'm with you.
That's what you want kids to do. And so the reason this hit close to home for me is, we've talked about this many times on the show, but my wife and I have made a firm commitment. Our oldest is only 11. We're only just kind of being pushed towards phones, and we've drawn a line in the sand. We just said absolutely no smartphones for our kids until they're old enough to leave the house and they can purchase them on their own if they want.
Oh, wow.
18.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Good for you.
We're not giving them to them.
I was going to say, by 11, I don't know what your social circle, your kids' social circle is like. I imagine he goes to school with a lot of people who already have access.
Tons of them.
Right?
I was shocked at how many.
Yeah. And that makes it hard for a parent. That's why these school policies are helpful to parents.
They can be, yeah.
They say, hey, it's not me, it's the school.
Yeah.
And then
like uniforms. I wish they'd bring back uniforms.
There's a benefit. There's a true benefit.
Takes away the need to always,
Keeping
wear
up.
the latest.
Keeping up.
Everybody just looks the same.
Eliminates ridicule.
Vaguely uncomfortable, which is how everybody should be when they're a child.
School, you bet.
But anyway, so we've made this kind of commitment that we're not going to have for none of our 4 boys, none of them get a smartphone. If they make that decision as an adult, they can do that someday. That's fine. But we'll give them like dumb phones.
Say your boy
for driving a car
at 16 wants to get a job.
Sure.
And buy his own phone and
not
access.
my house.
Not going to let him have access to a cell phone, even if he pays for it himself, is responsible. And
he can have a dumb phone.
Jitterbugs.
He can't have he can have a jitterbug with big fat buttons.
That's fair. Yeah.
But he can't have a smartphone. It's just too dangerous. 16-year-olds don't know.
I hear you.
16-year-olds are just. I remember myself at 16. Imagine.
I'm just a total tool.
Imagine having everything at your fingertips at 16. If you're a young man that you want to have access to.
Yeah, we know.
You'd never leave the house.
I hear you, brother.
I'm just being real. That's
I hear
that's a recipe for bad stuff.
And so many kids have them well before 16.
Yeah.
And they can have them at school.
I know.
We get back to this. Why don't we have an overarching policy in the state of Washington saying that this is how much more evidence do you need?
If Texas is doing it,
right?
Why isn't Washington State doing it? I just don't understand. What's his name? Reichdahl? Chris Reichdahl?
Chris Reichdahl, yeah.
Superintendent of Public Instruction?
Mm-hmm.
Who has chose to sit this one out. I don't understand why you're not more involved. Parents don't want cell phones. They don't want their kids to have these screens all the time. And here's the other thing that really bugs me. So I have three of my kids are in elementary school. My youngest is not yet in school. He's just about to turn 2. 2 of my kids are sitting at the breakfast table the other day, and I'm asking about their day. What are you guys going to be doing today? What classes do you have? And both of them were saying that, they have this screen thing that they have to hit by the end of the week. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, what is screen thing? Because every student in school has a little tablet at a certain point that they, through the school district, that they work with.
Yeah.
These little Chromebooks. And they do these programs through these Chromebooks.
Educational programs?
Educational programs, yeah. And so the school, I'm pretty sure the school is contracting for these programs, and they have to justify the budget to purchase them.
Well, it's actually, some schools have said it's financially beneficial to have all of their content go digital because they don't have to buy physical books. They don't have to update physical books. They can just have one tablet, they reissue, issue. They buy a license for
Can I give you my opinion as a parent? And I have not looked into this, so this is purely parent opinion. That's just laziness. I think it's laziness, and I think it's, when I was a kid and when you were a kid, we grew up where you would have a teacher who would teach you things, and you'd have a pen and a paper. And I'm not sitting here saying like you have to be a Luddite and you can never have a computer screen. I had computer classes. I had all that stuff.
Well, I'm talking about like textbooks are now issued in digital form to these tablets.
But that's a mistake.
These
kids are just staring at these blue screens all day, just burning up your eye sockets.
I agree, man. I agree.
And my 8-year-old and my 11-year-old are sitting there. They're lamenting at the breakfast table. I wish we didn't have to do that, but if we don't do that, we don't get to do the next thing in class if we don't get in a certain amount of time.
Committed screen time?
Yes.
Not keeping them off, keeping them on?
Keeping them on.
For the minimum.
There's a certain thing they have to get past, and I was just like, guys, are you serious? Like, do you really have to stare at screen time that much? And my wife's like, I'm sure it's not as bad as it sounds, and maybe it's not.
Yeah.
But both of my kids were both like, it would be great if we didn't have to use these silly programs. I just think they should get rid of the Chromebooks. And the only reason schools get them anyway at such a discount is because they're trying to create future users for these things.
Yeah, yep.
And as a parent, I feel like we're going crazy because I'm sitting there going like, well, why can't they just teach the kids? Why do they need to be on screens all the time? And they're not on listen, it's not 24/7. I understand.
I hear you, but it's cumulative.
But it's a lot.
Schools shouldn't be adding to the problem.
It's a lot.
Everything they do is on a screen. It's horrible.
And I applaud the good
Texas.
teachers. And Texas, good job, Texas.
Yeehaw, Texas. Hard for me to even say it out loud.
Cool hats, cool shoes, good laws.
Better readers.
Better readers in Texas, absolutely. All right, we got text messages, lots of other great stuff. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but why I win is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow, but you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagaich has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
What a performance by the big unit!
Mariners fans, don't miss your chance to witness history on Saturday, May 2nd, when the Mariners celebrate Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night. Presented by T-Mobile. The special pregame event will immortalize Randy's 51 while recounting the big unit's biggest moments, like throwing the franchise's first no-hitter and winning the team's first Cy Young Award.
Randy looks to the skies!
Get your tickets today at mariners.com/big unit.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Get new Lake Washington windows and doors with a lifetime transferable warranty installed this year, and don't pay for them until next year. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a bunch of text messages. Let's just dive right into it. Go for it, Laura.
On warm weather and the slip and slide in Jake's yard, Dave says, my first ever broken bone came from a slip and slide. I broke my index finger.
Ouch.
Have you guys ever broken a bone? I've never broken a bone.
I've never broken a bone.
You're kidding me.
No. One of my kids has broken both of his arms. Same one who bruised his tailbone. He's a little rough, but I haven't broken anything.
Sorry.
Have you broken anything?
Many things. I shattered a kneecap once.
Oh, that
horrible.
I regret asking this question already.
Yeah, I got fingers today that will never be straight again.
Is it from motorcycles?
No, I was playing sports.
How do you fix a kneecap? You just wait it out?
Oh, you cast it up from ankle to hip and spend the summer scratching and smelling terrible.
That's awful.
Yep.
I do that. I do that now, though.
I was going to do that anyway. Sandy Olympia says, my late mom's mantra during my youth, someone's going to get hurt.
It's true. It's just going to happen. You just got to get comfortable with it. Franklin and Olympia says, I grew up celebrated with slip and slides, but we called them slip and bleeds.
God.
That's pretty funny.
That's what happens.
On Sound Transit's news, $60 parking permits, Lynn and Ballard says, yes, Jake, people with more money get more privileges.
That's true, Lynn. That is true.
Yeah. Kevin in the 206 says, I'm buying my way into the carpool lane right now on 167 South. Just one of me in the truck, but my flex pack says it's HOV, so there you go.
Heck yeah, Kevin.
Riding dirty.
Bill in Lake Stevens says, the better question is, why did they not build bigger parking garages? That is a good question.
We've been asking that since day one. That's been under-spaced at every location.
They don't know how to go up.
Mean, here's the drill. Nobody's riding it, and it's still you're out of parking spaces. And that's why they're trying this, is to get people to get in the habit of riding the trains. It's not going to happen until you put more parking available.
But the parking spaces were always full, though. That's why I'm not sure who this is for.
And no one's on it, and it's full.
It's confusing to me. 360, the fact that Sound Transit depends on a parking garage points out the fundamental problem of a point-to-point choo-choo train. 99% of people need to drive to the stations. That is true. You can take a bus, I guess.
Yeah, but as you see, look along the I-5 corridor, as you see these stations going north up to Linwood and then eventually Everett. You see all these high rises, these multiple, all over the place. At 145th Station's not even open yet. There's going to be 20,000 or 2,000 apartments right across the street. Yeah,
bunch of new buildings.
That's going to be the long-term idea. Live, walk to the train.
On elderly people playing T-ball, Jerry in the 206 says old people don't have competition hang-ups like 40 to 50-somethings.
Oh,
that can't be true. That can't be true. Are they saying you lose your competitive edge when you get past 50?
Well, they use the word hang-ups. I don't know if
competition hang-ups.
If only I hadn't hurt my knee in high school.
Yeah. I think some seniors still have that competitive edge. I think I'd question that.
I play poker with a few old dogs. I'm in a poker group. Of course, we just play for funsies. We would never play for money. And
okay, really?
These guys get very. I'm not going to say anything on the air.
Fair enough.
But these guys get very, very competitive, and they're in their 70s. So I don't think it ever goes away. And when that fire goes away, I don't want that fire to ever go away.
Why bother? Yeah. Mike Salk's RB in the 360 says Mike Salk's dad is in a 70-plus softball league.
Heck yeah.
It's a big thing, I guess. He loves it. Salk talks about it quite often. Also, it's Mike Salk's birthday today. What?
Oh, happy birthday, Mike. Very nice.
You guys didn't get the company-wide email?
I didn't get it.
It wasn't posted on the coffee machine.
The Facebook notification?
I didn't see it.
If it's not posted on the coffee machine, I don't read it.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, if you build it, they will come very slowly.
Oh, man.
We got to read Eddie's real fast.
Okay.
He says that Twilight Zone movie that we reference, it was a Twilight Zone movie. He says, I literally just watched it last night. That's a great movie. It's the 1980s. I do think it is in the 1980s movies. I thought it was in the original too, but he might be right. It might just be the 1980s remake, which is so good, by the way. So, because they remade the famous, they remade like old famous episodes as remake in the 1980s, and the John Lithgow.
Oh, the Shatner on the thing on the plane.
The Shatner on the plane is great, but the John Lithgow 80s version is scary as heck.
Sidebar: Harry Potter coming this winter, this Christmas.
I've seen the ads.
HBO.
I've seen the ads.
They got a lot of money.
They got a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Lithgow is Dumbledore.
Lithgow's Dumbledore. What do you think? Have you seen? What do you think?
I can allow it.
Yeah.
I'll embrace it with an open mind.
Lithgow's great. Yeah.
Kids are kids. Kids are cute.
Go for it.
On Scam BOGO offers, Karen says, I always wonder why grocery stores are going for volume. I wouldn't normally buy 2 bottles of olive oil. Well, those are price leaders. You think you're saving, and it's stuff that keeps. That's why the olive oil buy 2.
I would buy if it's a good deal. I'll buy 2.
That's it.
I buy 2 all the time.
But according to the Attorney General, they're jacking up the price, and we're not really getting the deal we think we are.
On Screen Time in Schools, Tammy in Kenmore says, I was a school bus driver for 20 years, and I can remember the day when my bus went silent. No talking. All the kids got on the bus and went straight to the phone, faces down, no talking. So sad. That's crazy.
That is really sad.
That's why we need lead-lined buses, so kids can't get Wi-Fi on them.
That's
what we need.
You should just have no
Let's
phone.
workshop that.
Just no phone signs. I mean, really, that's
Tap
such
the sign.
that's such a huge part of childhood is just the loudness,
camaraderie,
and
community.
That's what childhood should sound like.
Yep.
Just imagine, and I have seen it. Like the other day, I was driving, and there was a young. I don't know how old this person was. I assume she was a high school age person, but she might have been older. I can't get ages anymore. Somebody's walking a dog on the side of the road, looking at their phone, meandering in and out of the line onto the road. And I'm thinking to myself, like, just from a self-preservation standpoint, aside from the fact that you're out walking a dog, take some enjoyment in that. Just you're outside in nature. It was a beautiful sunny day.
Seriously, you're with your
staring
pet.
at your phone. Someday when we're all on our deathbeds, God forbid it's anytime soon, hopefully it's a long time away, I hope you wouldn't be staring, like thinking to yourself, like, man, I wish I would have looked at my phone more. I should have had more screen time. I wish I had more screen time.
One more scroll on TikTok. That would be mine.
Kevin in 206 says, and this is what I love about America. Each parent is allowed to parent their own child, because I completely disagree. I think it's all about teaching your kid how to use their smartphone and use it in a safe way. Honestly, both of my kids have smartphones at 11 and 15, and neither one of them use them inappropriately. We do check them, and we watch them. They both pay attention, and they're both on honors classes with the advanced learning classes, to each their own.
Good for you, Kevin.
Yeah,
I
well
think
done.
You're still a great parent.
Let's have you come on and teach us how to do that. I could never do that.
No, thank you. I don't want it. Good job, Kevin. John Curley's coming up next. We got a lot more tomorrow, so tune back in, and we will see you then. Have a great night.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over
over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Missing teeth or tired of dentures? South Seattle Smiles offers permanent dental implants to restore your smile. Ask about their discount cash pricing and get a free consultation. Call South Seattle Smiles or visit SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident Book Series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember,